Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Let's get started. Still turning everything on, and I did just restart the browser, but apparently that was not enough, because look how slow everything's going. Let's get the space started up, and then we will make sure everything else is ready to go. Then we'll invite our friends over. And it's March 23rd. Word space. Go.
I'm missing.
Missing? Who's missing?
Missing.
My headphones are missing? All right, let's see here. Let's make sure the Bluetooth is on. It is. And then we will go on over to the YouTube side and make sure it's set up. And we know X is set up because I tried to make the space and it said join it. But kind of hard to join it when you're hosting it. Let's do that button there, and then let's go to content. Go to live. There it is. Type invite to speak and to co-host. There we go. And good morning. How are you? Actually, it might be afternoon, depending on your time zone. What's that? There you go. Oh, okay. I was moving the trash can out of the way because it was on my headphone cord. You was at a party last night? Oh, that one, yes. I don't know that I've seen him in a hoodie at all. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. I mean, as it should be. You know, pack them in like sardines in there. What, baby? Do what? Want that bear out there?
Yeah, sure.
I saw that part. Siobhan looked like super uncomfortable for some reason. She was like rocking, like she was like rocking, like she wanted somebody, to get her out of there. Right? Yeah. Right after that, this is the rocking that was weird. I need a web browser window for you guys. Well, I mean, that's the one that had the IVF kids with him, right? I mean, they were at some point. I don't know if they still are. Well, there's that, but they also had a little bit of more closeness to it than you'd expect. Right. Well, I mean, Grimes was jealous when not just because of the shared birthday thing. All right, I've got the first article lit up. I see. Okay. Close this. Open that. All right, so I've got a window ready to go. I need to send out these invites. Copy. I don't even have a messenger window open. Usually there's one open. 3, 2, 1. And then what? 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Ow! Don't spell it on me. Okay. Now we just need to email the other half, and then we are ready to start on these items. Close that one. There it is, right from my face. Sunday FedEx. That cost an extra pretty penny. All right, let's see. We need this box.
He's in here.
He's in here.
Yeah.
Who?
In your store. He's in here.
The FedEx guy?
Yeah, he's in your store.
The FedEx guy's in his truck.
What's that?
In there? That's Slimy. We're gonna do.
Come in here, Daddy. Come in here.
Yeah. Mark.
It's your door and it's
My door?
right. It's your door and it's
Oh,
on.
not that one.
It's
Send a
your
copy to my
door
work
and
address.
it's on
I don't need
right.
that.
And it's on right.
The lights are all on. What do you want?
What's that?
All the lights are on.
What's that?
That's why are you sticky? Bring me some wipes and we'll get you unsticky. Twitter, March. All right, now we need to bring this window onto the screen. Uh-oh,
Mouse?
it ended. It ended. All right, we'll bring back the space because Twitter is being ridiculous.
1 feet? 1 feet? The dog, honey? 2 feet? 3 feet? 1 feet?
All right, part 2.
2 feet? 2 feet?
2 feet.
What the? It's all that is back.
All right, unmute that again.
Your mom.
Yeah. Why did you?
Why you store, Daddy?
Why you what?
Why you store?
I don't understand.
Why you store in your bedroom for mom? Why you store, Daddy?
Why you?
No.
Yeah, no.
Why you store,
All right,
Daddy?
so let's get the screen turned on for you guys. We're going to screen share, and we're going to invite Slimy back up. And
Daddy.
what, baby?
How long?
What one? Yeah, it's asking me if it can screen share because it's been a month since the last time I answered that I could screen share because apparently people forget or something. Okay.
Hey, Daddy, here's a green screen.
On part 2, it's doing me just like it did Famous. No, because I don't plan to be on here for 24 hours. Yep. Oh boy. They want to quit. They want to quit and reopen the browser, which is just stupid. It was already authorized, so I clicked OK and then closed it. Like, you need to reauthorize it. So I clicked OK, and now it wants to close the browser, which we are not going to do. What I will do is change browsers because. Wait, no, I can't change browsers. Who's that? Are you talking about the employee conference? Yeah, that was a little weird. Probably.
Is that up there. Set up there.
Right.
Set up there. Set up there.
Where did that window we were sharing? There it goes.
Daddy. I'm not coming.
Yeah. That's not entirely new, but the fact that he's still doing it was kind of interesting. Yeah. Okay. Not right now. Well, the last time he was waiting on batteries. Yeah. I was hoping that if you guys see in the background flash, I was hoping that I'd have cleaned this office up by then. We built a shelf to reorganize it all, but that monster over there, she's a real monster when she's sleepy. Okay, so the screen's doing weird stuff, but it's probably fine. Yeah. What, baby? So at the end of last week's chat, we looked at Mark Rober's video where the Model 3 supposedly ran through a wall. Okay, so it literally did run through a wall, but supposedly did it using FSD, which we saw he was not doing with FSD. What are you doing right there? He did through the video, but I don't know if he does his own titles. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Oh, so the latter company Luminar had decided they were going to share it, and then they decided they were not going to share it because they had agreed not to, and somebody dropped the ball on their agreement there, or hoped that he wouldn't notice or something. So while we're on that, I don't think I put my own post in the notes, did I? I did not, but I did put his response. So let's do that, and then we'll put my posts. And then at some point, I will clean that stuff onto the shelf. What happens is you got little toddlers and crawlers around, and everything they're not supposed to touch, you just pick it up and put it away from them. And well, it's gotten out of hand. My computer is just screaming, and I don't know why. I restarted the browser, and everything should be good. What's up, Robert? Facebook must be broken again because I told it to do Facebook. That will tell me to fix Facebook for next week, though. I appreciate it. All right, so on here, he says, here's his raw footage of going through the wall. Not sure why it disengages 17 frames before hitting the wall, but my feet weren't touching the brakes or the gas. And some people say it's because of his death grip, and Green the Only says that his isn't the only one that just kind of nopes out like that. However, of the ones that nope out, they usually have the red hands going on, and this one did not do that. Not like that. However, I don't know why it opened up on top of what we were working on. All right, so fancy theatrics and overlays and just the raw footage from the camera.
Here we go! Here we go! Holy shoot!
All right, so then there was more. So let me find my posts on the matter. Now, not that I had very many posts this week. There we go. So after today's show, this was on the Tesla Life show. After today's show, Patrick and Mark and I were discussing how this clip showed the car performing impressive versus what we saw recently. So the one we just looked at versus this one here. Let's expand it out for you guys. Come on, mouse. We were just looking at the All right, so I need to mute this because there we go. It doesn't drive all the way at all, or that way at all. But what we've got here is my mouse working? No, of course not. I still don't see the mouse, but there's a clear wall basically, and each time they turn it on, the car just drives around it. And on the last time we see that not only does it stop for the guy standing in the road holding the straps for the wall, if you look at the screen closely, it also can see the twine or the rope or whatever is holding up this clear sheet, in addition to the human, which was pretty impressive. And that's in China. And let's go to the next one. More clips. Yes, that one, but I think there was one more. All right, so this is how something like AP1 even could have seen the wall with just a little bit of parallax. And this is what we would have seen looking through the lens. And then here's what the system would see. It would stand out. And AP1 only had one camera. Everything else after that has anywhere from 7 to 9 cameras. So do with that what you will. I'm going to close down some of this stuff. Maybe that will help. Yeah, it says it's just screaming. All it's doing is recording video. There's no memory in use. Not none, but not like what it's doing. And it says Microsoft Edge is using 498% of the processor. Because that's how Unix works. I've got an idea on the Microsoft Edge thing. Let me kill a window or two. Is that the one I want? And that's the one we're looking at right now, isn't it? So I can't do that. No, it's not. It's a good candidate, but I'm going to forget where it was. I promise. There's one with a bunch of YouTube windows in it that I can get rid of, but I don't see it on this list. Yeah, that will work for now. We'll close that down. Save and close. And then go back here. What's funny is this is even less windows open than last week, and yet, and I just refreshed it. So it shouldn't have an issue, but it does. Some of these I don't want to. Oh no! If I do the window, I do all of them. I don't want to do that. Can I move them? Some of them need to stay open, even though everything else does not. Let's do this. Sorry for letting the sausage be made. Dun, 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 dun. Almost there. Because there's more of these videos, but if I can't play them, what's the point of having them? I didn't see it all because I was like just slammed with the little ones this week. But I saw them coming in, and they work. Unlike the where the messenger sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Yeah, the DMs work pretty well. It's the messenger. It receives them, but it's always. I don't know what's up with that app lately. All right, so I just nuked about 25 windows. That should be enough to get us to be able to watch this video. You can say they. It's a little easier on the respect meter. Well, Jenna wants to be, or Vivian. Vivian wants to be a she. He did that, yes. He did it again this week? But he did it again this week? That's surely a way to repair a relationship with a child. It's pretty crafty. Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you were thinking it was literal and it was not. Yeah, initially I thought he was talking about Nevada, but nope. Yeah, it's not a very nice thing to say. All right. Oh, is she still a teen? Oh, that's cool. There's a fridge too? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so this is another one of those Chinese tests on FSD. Not really FSD, the Chinese FSD features. Oh, I say that because they're not allowed to call it FSD. So this thing is hauling butt towards this what he thinks is barricades in the middle of the road, and eventually it'll see them. There it is. It'll slow down. Then it realizes the barricades are too close to go through. It's turned on the four-way flashers, trying to figure out what to do, and then it just whips a Yui in the middle of the street. Full-on U-turn. So all of that to say that just because it uses the same cameras doesn't mean that it would have been the same if we used FSD for this test than that versus what we saw where we're just using the autopilot at 5 years old now. And then here we see
the wheel, not touching the brakes, not touching the gas.
Cybertruck in America doing the same thing, but with a similar type wall. It also was hauling butt towards the wall, and then says, we're not going to do it. Brings it to a stop. It doesn't do the four-way flashers like the Chinese one did. Gentle stop.
All right, Cybertruck, full self-drive on.
Showing you the modes.
Software.
You always have to do the modes, because if you don't, then people will wonder what you're hiding.
Not touching the brakes, not touching the gas.
Okay. And this one was using an old version of FSD, version 11 for some reason, and it was going to run through the wall. So let's we're not going to watch all 10 minutes of it
For you.
Okay, and get this Model Y. He gets up to the full 40. Just like Rover's video, gets to 40. Unlike Rover's video, there's no line in the middle of the road, so the car is allowed to be in the middle.
Not touching the brakes, not touching the gas.
And he's not on the wheel.
Vehicle's
Problem, though, for
going
him
much faster than 30.
is it's not a styrofoam wall. It's a plywood wall.
Apparently does not see the wall. Does not see the wall. Does not see the wall.
He manually brakes because on the other side of his wall
See the wall.
is a van.
Does not see the wall.
He had to manually stop it. However, we did see that he has a friend who has a Cybertruck. I do believe it's our friend Spotted Model, based on which one we saw, and then we already saw what the Cybertruck did and did not do. So that was good to see. Go back, and I think that's the end of my responses to Rover videos. It is. All right, so let's go back to our notebook. And I don't even have the chat open. There are 12 messages I missed. I am so sorry, guys. Highlander says, "Hey, gang, it's the Highlander. Here for a visit." Highlander's asking, his chat's not showing up. And can't find the room on X. So the room on X is Let's Chat with Kacey and Friends. So if you go to G Custom and then click on my icon, then click on Join Spaces. Try leaving YouTube and closing back out so I can find you on X. Okay, no, and Facebook for Roberts. So we'll figure out what's going on with Facebook for next week. It's now showing up on comments. That's good. And last week was 4 hours. Yeah, it was a long show last week. Sometimes they get that way. It's the exact title of the room on X. The exact title of the room right now is Let's Chat with Kacey and Friends, March 23rd, Part 2. And I'm saying X is a perfect platform compared to Messenger. I've also opened rooms before, so I know that's not to be true. No, the spaces aren't perfect. They're fun and they're good. But the XDMs, for me, since they've turned on the encryption on Messenger, are more reliable than Messenger has been in all of my endpoints. I don't know that anybody uses it the way. Oh, Spaces is definitely not. But I'm wondering if Messenger just didn't test the way I use it, because a lot of people, it's either all on their phone or all on the web, and I'm not even using the web. I use their app for Mac. I use the phone and the tablet, and I don't think that, and none of it's like iPhone, Apple stuff. So other than the Mac app, so I think I've really done a number on them for their testing modalities. Robert's still in the room talking to myself. Highlander. Lee says, "Happy Sunday! Nice live show. Thank you, Lee." And I did not see the wall. Yeah, that's the scary part. So the one thing that I wanted to point out while we have that guy's long video is that his software is really old. Let's open it back up and see if we can't surf around it real quick. But that's the thing is while his software is pretty old, so was Mark's, because Mark was running autopilot and not FSD, which means that it wasn't using any of the innovations and updates that we saw. I need to show you Green the Only. He had another video of what old software can do. So this is system software version 12, but full self-driving software. It's not that old, but it's older than it needs to be making a point. It's version 12.5, and at the time, for older cars like mine and probably his, the correct software was version 12.6 point something, 325. that would have been a little more indicative. However, as we saw with the Cybertruck was on the current software 13 point whatever, and 13.5 point whatever, and it was not fooled by the wall. All right, so let's close this back down, and then we'll go to green. And he and I had a slight little chat on his last post. All right, so this is really old. This is version 11. He gets his computers from crashed cars, so they got to get all the way through to the point where they get totaled out, and somehow he finds himself the owner of the new computer, or old computer. And so this is over a year ago, but this has always been a problem in the past for autopilot. This was FSD at the time, but it's running the older code that was basically just a step up from autopilot. And you always had to be careful of that because it never knew what to do with a obscured lane, partially. But here we can see there's plenty of time to react. You can see the car. You don't know what it is. It's weird. Let's step back, actually, because I think we can still see it as we go back in time. Yep. So right there, the car can still figure out that something is not straight and deal with it. So at that point, I'm looking out. I see weirdness ahead. And if I don't see the car prepping to react to it, then I take over. We don't know if this person wasn't paying attention, if they'd fallen asleep. But right here, you can tell there's something just odd. And then we just get a couple feet forward. I say just a couple 100 feet forward. and we can now clearly see there's something in our lane because the yellow line is broken. And there's lights that don't make any sense to us because that car's already been smashed. And there's debris all over the road. So I'm already on edge for the debris because I don't want to pay for the tires. You know, it's $1,000 and more for a set. I want close to $2,000. What you got? Well, I mean, he did this to himself. If he hadn't been cheating at video games, or had been more upfront about what he was doing, then nobody would question him on it. So, endless entertainment. All right, so switching from self-driving or not and walls and crashes, we've got this cutting-edge stove can stay on during blackouts, and it qualifies for major incentives. So we've talked about, this is the one I think it is, we've talked about this company before. They basically got a bunch of lithium iron phosphate batteries in the warming drawer or pot drawer or whatever you want to call that space underneath the oven in a slide-in range. And it looks like they're on the market now, finally, instead of just making sales. With extreme weather events becoming more frequent and power grids under strain, homeowners are searching for solutions to stay resilient during power outages. A new electric induction stove built with battery storage offers a surprising answer, allowing users to cook efficiently during power outages. This is something that I currently lack because my batteries only back the 120 circuits of everything but one room. And the range and the oven are on a 50 amp circuit. So they are 240, clearly. Copper's Charlie range is an innovative induction stove that was showcased recently in a piece by Electric, and it doubles as a cooking appliance for batteries and a battery for small-scale power backup. So your stove can help keep your fridge staying on during an outage, which is pretty cool. Designed to store enough energy to cook for several hours, it's an efficient solution to give a peace of mind for blackouts. It also means that the range does not require any special wiring and can run on a 120-volt outlet. Oh, that's pretty cool. That'll save a ton of money. I say a ton, but it'll save a measurable, noticeable amount of money. Although I would probably still put a 50 in there, even if I didn't use it, just in case nobody else does 120 with a battery. It means the range does not require any special electrical wiring and can run on a standard 120 volt outlet. Store up the extra juice for high demand cooking moments through the battery. That also means that when you turn it on, you don't see that huge spike in your usage and then it comes down. Unlike traditional gas stoves, induction ranges are far safer and more efficient as they don't release harmful pollutants into the home from the heating process. Every cooking process will release particles into the air because that's it's not that far from when we were doing stuff over an open fire and like wood logs or whatever. I mean, if you're just simply like wow. Yeah, if you have gas, you definitely want to make sure that you're ventilating. And so if you can't do the range hood, then you got to do like Robert does and then get a breeze flowing through the house. And the problem is with the gas ranges, you still need to do that periodically, even if the thing is off, because even the brand new ones are just so leaky. What's cool about this one, and the reason they probably won't let them do it is because of the wiring. So with this, whenever they have a UK model, this uses the regular outlets. So Robert will be able to do a full size oven or range to replace the one he's got without having to rewire the house, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So the cooking process itself, once you start getting into charring and searing, that does also release stuff, but not anywhere near as bad as just having the gas range. These cutting-edge stoves work by heating cookware directly using electromagnetic energy, faster, more efficient than gas and electric stoves. The other cool thing about that is because it heats up the pot itself, you've got a very consistent heat. It does require relearning where you want to put your knobs, or if you have one of the digital ones. The digital ones aren't so bad if you can like dial in a temperature, but if it's just like numbers, I can't stand that. I also don't like having to push buttons to go up and down. I like a knob or a touch slider. Because again, if I'm not picking a specific temperature, I want to be able to just kind of analog go through the settings. But the other cool thing about that is say you accidentally turn it on and there's no cookware on it, you don't have a hot surface. Obviously, if you've just done some cooking at 100 degree C, so basically boiling, and then you remove the pot, there will still be some residual heat for a moment, but cools down pretty quickly, makes it safer. And so let's follow their link over to Electric, and I think that was related. Okay, so this is still part of the first one. And then with the Inflation Reduction Act, while it still stands as it was, you can use some of that money to make this even easier to obtain. So let's see if they take us straight to the article when they go to Electric. All right. Okay, so they've got the, I didn't realize they got this one as well. I thought that was a different company. So this one is, you use to dial in the temperature, and it's really cool, the one that's the built-in to the countertop. But this one here in the middle is the slide-in I was talking about. And I don't know if you can see my mouse or not today. Oh, you can. Good. All right, so when not cooking, the battery slowly charges. When cooking, the charged battery quickly discharges at high power. Then when I add a battery to an induction oven, for energy buffering, obviously. Okay. Daniel boils a liter of cold water in under 40 seconds. That's faster than a microwave. Wow. So if you use like those turbo modes on the gas ranges that uses just so much gas and puts out so much into your room. And most of it's just flowing around the pot, not into it. And this one is heating up the pot itself. So there it is, 350 Fahrenheit, and the water is to a boil. I want to learn more about this built-in because I saw it in passing a couple times. I think they call it the Sensi. Proprietary temperature sensing and first-party induction technology, at each 9-inch burner. LED ring gives you clear communication of burner states. So 249 deposits a day. Impulse cooking. 249 deposits a day gives you secures your cooktop at the limited discounted price of $5,500. The remaining balance of $5,250 will be charged automatically prior to the confirmed ship date. Impulse cooktop is eligible for the 30% residential clean energy credit, reducing the total price by approximately $38.50 after refund. Okay, that's not so bad. Puts it in line with what's out there. Customers are responsible for applying for the credits. Yeah. Eligibility for additional federal and state subsidies depends on your household income and location. See more in the facts. It's a 30-inch cooktop, 10 kilowatts with exact temperature control starting at room temperature. It'd be kind of hard to dial it below room temperature. That's just like I want it extra off. It's a 120 at 15 amp, and it comes off a 515 plug. Not bad. Or you can, if you've already got the 240 there, it'll use it. It's got a 3 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate, and the inverter is grid tied up to 2.2 kilowatts, 220 to 250 volts, at 50 to 60 volts, 50 to 60 hertz AC. So yeah, they got you, Robert. Take a look on this and see if you guys have any programs to knock off half of that price. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I like it. And that's just this one I hadn't done much research on, but seen it and then read about it. People were raving on it. Like they even talk about how they could program in, since it was so digital, they could program in their meals. And let's see. And then this one here, this is the one I was talking about before with the 4 kilowatt hour battery, the Charlie oven from Cleaning Street. There's a $6,000, but it's a full slide in. You've got the induction range up top, and then down below you've got the oven. The burners aren't quite as fast as the Impulse, notching a still respectable 3.2 kilowatts each. And Channing Street lays out that the important bit, however, is that it's still currently limited to San Francisco Bay Area residents, and it is fully subscribed. That's why this one hasn't come out further. It's still in the Bay Area. It's got an induction range incentive of 840, and then it's also got the battery. So anyone switching from gas range and earning less than 150% of median area income, so the Bay Area income incentive will give you an additional $750 for switching from gas. All right. Additional incentives may apply, but yeah, definitely. Theirs is probably still over 5,000. That's what they're saying. I will keep this one open because I want to find out more about that range top. All right, next we've got Diablo Canyon, California. Let's see what we got going on there. Copy link. Come back to you guys. Paste and go. %9 of California's electricity is created inside this building. What is it? It's a nuke. And this is the steam turbine room. So just like Robert was telling us last week, they're clean, they're open, and what you're seeing is the cooling tower. Here's the business. This is the steam generator. Or steam power generator, I should say. It doesn't generate steam. It generates electricity from steam. Turbine tips are moving at 1,800 RPM and almost supersonic speed. Follow to learn more, they say. All right, let's see what I've got here. Slimy sent me a link. No, I sent Slimy a link. So why did it show up that way? Oh, I see what happened. You sent me one before you sent me one I didn't open yet, and then so it's letting me know that. But it showed me mine instead of, that's weird. Wow. I think I've had small offices like that before. Let's take a look here. And they're using the hoodie. Okay. Okay, so yeah, his office is the size of a cubicle I've had before. And it looks like the Odyssey Arc. So it's the same one I've got, but double stacked. But mine is 2 4K monitors, and his is 1 4K monitor. But as you get older, you don't want to wear glasses, so it's not a bad choice. I'm saying it's huge, and it rotates. So you're looking up and down like this, like it's like the side of an airplane if you were in a small jet or something. I could have something much. Yeah. All right. Hey, Highlander, what's up? Say again? So he said he could have had a bigger office, but then we would all be on his case about that because he's talking about all his savings and stuff, right? So send the right message, yo. And then what was the other message you sent me? You muted yourself? Yeah, mine does stuff like that. Wow, the picture you got of him with the hoodie, Jim Jordan is looking all creepy over his shoulder. Oh, okay. I was wondering why we couldn't understand what you were saying. I was like, he said what? But it was accident. Yeah, glitches happen. It looks like it's a comfortable hoodie. Yeah, all of his products are super expensive when it comes down to the merch. It's like exactly that. So this 758 megawatt solar farm is supported by 1.2 gigawatt hours of mega pack at Avion's site in Kern County, California. So this is a not just a grid battery, but also it buffers the solar, so that way does site level controls, regulate power output, and providing a firm resource to the grid, avoiding costly solar curtailment. Curtailment is bad because you've got all this investment in equipment that's now been shut down because the grid can't handle it. So run it through a battery and it's fine. Support Los Angeles' 100% goal of climate friendly by 2025. Provides critical power amidst, I didn't catch the end of it, Megapack there. Our refund. Yeah. Well, he's had to talk to his countrymen because the others were saying, oh my goodness. That's the only daughter he has that can speak to the press. The other one's like, what, 2, 3? These mega packs are quite amazing. I had once in a lifetime opportunity and privilege to be the first to tour the mega factory in Lathrop. Photos pending approval. I guess he never got approval because that was several days ago and I still didn't have one. Oh, this was pretty cool. No, it's not. I thought it was. The Tesla Model Y is the best-selling vehicle worldwide in 2024. Let's show this. It's a. I don't know what that is. The one I was thinking of was the guy who redid his Model 3 into like a sports car. All right, so continuing on, we've got. Yeah, he's giving it away. That's pretty cool too. They put a lot of time into it. All right, so that is 172 megawatts and over 1 million solar panels. That same project. To put it into perspective of just instead of just raw numbers, over 1 million panels, 172 TEUs, 20-foot equivalent units of megapacks. And then they started shipping the China megafactories megapacks this past week. I didn't put it in the notes because it was weird looking. So there it is. You still get that news. All right, so this one here from Sawyer is about. Can't read it. It's so tiny. In the notes, I should have made it bigger. BYD. There we go. BYD has unveiled their new EV platform, and along with its new megawatt charging system, not the MCS, but a MCS, that says it will charge an EV in 5 minutes, about as long as it takes a regular car to refuel. I timed 7. I'll give you 5, but none of this 3 nonsense that everybody's like, I can get my gas car done in 3 minutes. Yes, baby.
Mommy said that for people, she can handle when that name and she can buy that this she can buy that one she can buy that one.
She can buy this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's showing off her mom's notepads that she sells. What a great little advertisement she has.
And I handed that one.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't know what website she's selling them on at this point, so just drop me a note if you want one of those notepads, and I will make sure that her website's online and we'll allow you to run it through there. Let's see. So anyway, BYD's new battery and charging system is capable of providing 470 kilometers or 292 miles on the WLTP of range in 5 minutes in tests. And they show that the new Han L sedan, their chairman and founder Wang Xiaofu said on Monday, the manufacturer will start selling the vehicles with new technology next month. BYD calls the batteries used on the platform flash charge batteries. They have a 10C charge rate. So 10C means that 1C is 1 capacity in 1 hour. 10C is this is my game. Why is it not in my room? Why'd you take it out of my room? Mm-hmm. Ice cream truck. Ice cream truck. You don't hear it? I'm sure the Spaces hear it. I don't know if YouTube and X hear it, but Spaces hears it. I don't have the filter on the microphone, so you guys hear everything. But X and YouTube, they're behind the filter, so it's why don't more people use the new ice cream truck song from Wu-Tang. Anyway, that's so distracting. Huh? What's that? Yeah, it's distracting. So 10C is 10 times that. So that's a good. And I said 1 hour, but I don't think that's actually right. Let me Let me find the rate for a C rate.
Yeah, every
Looking for a window to type in.
I think
I feel like parked outside of my house. My goodness, it's not moving. What happened? Okay, so yeah, I did actually get that right. 1C versus 10C. 1C is for discharging. It'll discharge the entire capacity in 1 hour. And so to 10C would be to discharge the entire capacity in 10 minutes? 6 minutes, because it's 60 minutes an hour. So yeah, so you get a full charge in 6 minutes at 10C. The most batteries out there are between 2 and 3.5 C for EVs at the moment. But I don't know where they're going. I don't have any cash for this guy. No, his speakers is really loud. He's now driving by. The somebody must have stopped in to pick some up. So 6 minute charge at 10C, and they're saying 5, so that must not be a full discharge, which is fine. You don't want to do that to a battery at 0%. That's incredible. It warns me to always check the chemical limits, though, because most batteries can't take 10C without cooking themselves, and then they catch fire. So that's a good sanity check right there from the math machine, and yeah. So 1C, you discharge the entire battery's capacity in 1 hour, and in 10C, you discharge the battery's capacity in 6 minutes. Conversely, since it's a lithium rechargeable, it works the other way as well. So 1C at charging battery at 1C takes an hour to fully charge it, and then 2C would be a 30-minute battery. 3C would be like 20 minutes or so. Pretty cool stuff. So anyway, the 10C batteries is the highest of any mass-produced battery in the world. I believe it. Redesigned, the blade batteries allow faster ion transfer in the electrolyte and less resistance to the diaphragm, resulting in faster charging. The batteries support charging voltages of up to 1,000 volts and charging currents of 1,000 amps. Megawatt, 1,000 times 1,000? Yes. Allowing charging power of up to 1,000 kilowatts, aka 1 megawatt. 1,000 volts times 1,000 amps, 1,000 kilowatts, according to the company. And 1,000 kilowatts is 1 megawatt. BYD will soon begin the construction of the supercharging stations that support 1 megawatt of charging power, with plans to build more than 4,000 such facilities. And so folks will be like, well, the supercharger can only do 500 by June. Yes, but it can also do 1.2 megawatts. So should they give us any of these blade batteries in a future vehicle, maybe they'll put the semi-charging port on it, or maybe they'll just unlock the NAC's ability to charge at 1 megawatt. We were discussing before with NACs being able to reach a megawatt. Why not put it on the trucks? And then they went ahead and upgraded the superchargers to be able to do 1.2 megawatts on the semi charger with the MCS. I'm assuming MCS2 connector, because they didn't say they were changing it. What the MCS3 connector is capable of I think 2 or 3 megawatts. You went at the front door? The ice cream truck was already gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him drive by. You want some? There's ice cream in the freezer. You want to go get it? No? Okay. You want some from the truck? Well, you don't have any cash. You've got your piggy bank right here, and all the rest of your money's in the bank. And you don't have your debit card, so you wouldn't have been able to swipe it.
And I said, here you go, and bring it by.
And see, that's why you don't have your debit card.
Yeah.
She said, "Here you go."
And I need, as you to start at your friend, and I think so, and I rocking, and I say, hello one, and they have all that one. They say, ding, 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 and mommy open door, and I see that.
Oh, you did. You just couldn't get there in time because you take 5 minutes to put on your shoes, and he was gone. Don't put your fingers in my donut. Go get your own donut.
It's nothing, I can't see that.
You don't even like this flavor donut. Do you want one? Mommy's right there. She'll give you one. Oh, you afraid that's one? Oh, you gonna go play ball with mommy?
Are you ready to use my ball?
Yeah.
On the
Have fun, baby.
Use that.
It's a nice day today. Tomorrow's gonna be all rainy and cold, so might as well enjoy it.
See, like, that's good. Yeah.
Have fun.
Why you like that ball?
Oh.
I want it, and I not know.
Oh, back to the BYD and the megawatt. So yes. So there's nothing stopping them from doing this with the regular superchargers. The handle's capable of 1,000 volts and 1,000 amps, and it's properly liquid immersed and liquid cooled. So the thing that prevents it right now is that they've got a 500 software limit, and no cars that can take megawatt yet. Followed by once they do that, they will then reintroduce throttling and sharing, like we had on V2 stations. If 2 megawatt vehicles show up at the same time, the system's only capable of 1.2 megawatts, so it's going to drop down to 500 and 500 or something like that. So same right now. If you had a 8 Cybertruck show up, they would split that 1.2 by 8, so they would not all be 500. But other than club events, when would you have 8 Cybertrucks show up to a V4, a full V4 station? More info at the CNEV posts. That's enough for me. Launching models that are 2 and 3 times their nominal ATPs is interesting. Would be equivalent to Tesla launching this battery in the new S and X at over $100,000 versus the 3 and Y. Supply and costs are still prohibitive, but interesting for sure, and look forward to seeing the execution in the real world. I mean, who's going to put their newest technology in their budget car? Not even China has that much assistance with their pricing structures. It's going to show up on the electric cars first, and then they will very quickly push it down market, so that they have cornered the market. All of our cars charge in 5 minutes. Or do you want to spend 3,000 yen more on this other car that charges slower? I don't know. Yen? One. Chinese one. How Tesla is working to combat rising automotive theft. A car manufacturing company has long been synonymous with innovation and forward thinking, and its latest efforts to counteract the rising threat of automotive theft only reinforce that reputation. Let's see what it says they did. If you have pin to drive, it means you have got a Tesla. Use it. If you have a Rivian with pin to drive, use it. I don't know if Rivian's got pin to drive, but given the security features they do have, I would think they do. Tesla's response has been multifaceted, involving the physical protection of its supercharger stations and the integration of cutting-edge technology designed to deter and detect criminal activity. This approach is particularly valuable for Tesla owners who have come to expect high performance, technological prowess, and assurance that their vehicles are safe from emerging threats. One primary concern has been theft and vandalism at supercharger sites, where criminals have repeatedly attempted to steal charging cables and other components. There were 4 times as many theft cases in 2024 as reported. Seattle was the worst hit city, with 7 incidents of cable theft from charging stations in Houston and Oakland in recorded cases. So this one sounds like it's talking about theft of cables rather than theft of the cars, and this might be a rehash of what we already talked about with the pressurized cables with the die packs. You look like you ate a porta potty. And they know who did it. No, this is new. Tesla engineering team has worked tirelessly to develop a suite of countermeasures in collaboration with cybersecurity experts and law enforcement agencies. These include the implementation of smart sensors and monitoring systems that can detect unauthorized tampering with charging equipment. Okay, so we were talking about, hey, why don't you use some of the electronics you got and stop this or track it? And they agreed. Someone is wondering. Over here, I saved this guy's deal, but I didn't actually keep it. So this guy bought an old Model S so they could beat on it and get out their Elon frustrations. When the system identifies suspicious activity, it will trigger an alert at Tesla's NOC, which is Network Operations Center, and they can then coordinate with local authorities to address the issue in real time. The innovations in security extend beyond mere detection. They've introduced a series of active deterrents that leverage the company's robust software ecosystem, for instance, enhancing the already robust Sentry mode with new capabilities. The system, which uses the vehicle's external cameras to monitor surroundings when parked, now includes improved notification system and higher resolution video capture to identify potential threats. So rather than just kind of being on in low power mode, if it's detecting something, it will open up in high resolution mode. They've made it more sensitive. And Mark and I were looking at this note saying that, oh, it's now going to do this and that. And the descriptions of what they said were stuff that it's already doing and has been doing for the last 6 years or so. So we're not sure what's different than that, except maybe it'll also blast the music out of the pedestrian warning speaker or the new hi-fi PWS on the Cybertruck. Wonk, wonk. They've recognized the threat extends beyond opportunistic criminals targeting its external infrastructure. Businesses lose $50 billion to employee theft annually, and by instituting robust monitoring and accountability measures within its operations, they've set a benchmark that underscores the importance of safeguarding assets at every level. That's pretty interesting. Are they saying anything, or are they just stating facts? Dual-layered security measures become essential. The commitment to safety and security, willingness to invest in R&D. Yeah, you've always got to be willing to invest in your business, or eventually it will go bust. And by not just investing some, R&D. If you've got the capability, do some R&D. If you're small enough, just grow it, and after that, do some R&D. All right, Jack. Where are we now? We got some stuff on, I'm assuming Cybercab. Let's take a look. It's another one of those ones that's small in my notebook. That's small because it's dense. Breaking. I have just contacted and confirmed directly with California's Public Utilities Commission that Tesla has been granted the first in a series of approvals from California to operate robotaxis. This doesn't mean that they're going to be operating the robotaxi we saw at the We Robot event right away. You'll see in a second. Tesla's application was for a transportation charter party carrier permit, a license that is typically associated with chauffeur-operated services, not like an Uber or Lyft. It's like a limo with one seat. What does Tesla's TCP permit allow? In November of 24, they applied for the TCP permit to operate vehicles that they own using drivers that are their employees. According to Tesla's application, Tesla will initially utilize the TCP permit to transport Tesla employees on a prearranged basis and in Tesla-owned vehicles. So basically, it doesn't have to be the robotaxi. It can be any of the Model Ys, X's, and S's as well, because they're going to have a human on board. And the prearranged is you can arrange it seconds before it happens, just like in the Uber app and Lyft app. But it was not a street hail; it was an app. According to Tesla's application, they initially used the TCP permit to transport Tesla employees on a prearranged basis, And they plan to transition to using the permit to transport members of the public on a prearranged basis, and they will notify the CPUC when it transitions to transporting members of the public. So this summer, as promised, they will be doing this, as they told us they would. But the catch is they'll be employees only until they tell California otherwise, assuming that they don't just start in Austin, because they said California and Austin, or California and Texas, rather. Tesla plans to transition to using the permit to transport members of the public on a prearranged basis, and they will notify the CPUC when the transitions to transporting members of the public. Yep. What does it not allow? This is important right here. Tesla has not applied for a transportation network company, so like Uber, Lyft, permit. The TNC authority is often informally referred to as ride sharing or ride hailing. TNCs provide prearranged transportation services for compensation using an online enabled application or platform such as smartphone apps to connect drivers using their personal vehicles with passengers, Uber and Lyft. So the difference here is that they are Tesla owned vehicles with Tesla employees, not third party vehicles with or without Tesla employees. Their application does not seek participation in CPUC's autonomous vehicle passenger programs, so not like Waymo either. I say Waymo or Cruise before they went out of business. So it's not be driver delivered in a driverless capacity. That doesn't mean that your driver is not going to be using the heck out of FSD, because why not? And a TCP permit alone does not authorize them to provide rides in autonomous vehicles. So even if they had requested the AV program, that permit alone wouldn't have given them the full access to the AV program. Prior to applying to the CPUC's AV passenger service programs, the carrier must also possess the relevant AV authority from the California Department of Motor Vehicles. So they gotta get a DMV, gotta get a driver's license for your car, basically. And Tesla does not possess the authority from the from the DMV to offer any driverless rides or testing for testing or deployment purposes. I'm not sure that's entirely accurate, that last part, because Tesla does possess a driverless testing permit. It may not be the same thing that he's talking about here, but they do have one, and that's why you constantly see them reporting 0 miles on public roads since the last 5 years or so. And the 2016 Model X video that they made with the painted black, that one showed a number of miles, I think about 10 miles, because that one was utilizing the permit, even though it was a supercut rather than what it looked like. Thanks, Elon. So they responded to Sawyer. Looks like they'd been getting a lot of these questions from the press, so they kind of had a nice formatted response. And then here's a look at the permit. So this is chauffeured rides where Tesla employees will monitor and drive other employees with the unsupervised software running as their monitor. Yep. The cars will be driving themselves, but Tesla employee will be in the driver's seat. As Tesla receives its remaining approvals needed, there will eventually be no one in the driver's seat. So why not operate the robotaxis? So it's not to operate the robotaxis, just ride-sharing approval, as they promised us. As stated above, this is the first approval of many needed to eventually qualify to operate the robotaxis. This is a great first step, and Tesla employees will be in the seat initially, but as Tesla receives the remaining approvals needed, there will eventually be no one in the driver's seat. There's no controls, so which side is the driver's seat? I think this might be, if they use the RoboCab, this might be why we saw so many of them with fitted steering wheels, and at least steering wheels. We don't know if they have pedals or not. And as I suggested, they'll probably start with 3 and Y, because if you're going to have to pay an employee to be in there, why not take 4 of them, or I guess 3 of them, 3 others with them. This is one of the days we've all been waiting for. The other question then at this point, though, since they have to be an employee anyway, What's to say that they don't just have them parked in the commuter lots, and then somebody picks to be the driver, and then they have a slug line of 4 employees going into the office or the factory. So that's that one. There was something I wanted to click on. I didn't. And then I had this one here for some reason. It's right underneath the picture, which means it's related. All right, so yeah, this is the same email they gave Sawyer, but it's a little easier for me to read on the screen. They sent this one to Teslarati. But instead of calling him by name, they just said hello. I want to let you know that today the staff of the CPUC granted Tesla's application for the TCP, which is a charter party carrier of passengers. They provide prearranged transportation of charter services, round-trip sightseeing, or passenger transportation under CPUC authority. What does the permit allow? In November 24, they applied, and they'll use their own drivers. According to the application, they will initially use the TCP to transport Tesla employees on a prearranged basis. So basically, he made the email cleaner for us in the other post then. They plan to transition. They'll notify before they do it. It does not allow TNC usage, and they did not specify they wanted the AV portion of the authority. So then they have a link to their other article, which talks about they got the app and how they applied for this permit, and now they have it. So continuing on, new record. Copy link, paste and go. Click in the window. 100 plus US-made wind turbines are headed to RWE Texas projects. Why I copied the link instead of the article, I will never know. Copy link, paste and go. 01010 says hello. Good to see you. And Joel says, so would that be 0 to 80 in less than 5 minutes? Absolutely, Joel. That's very astute because nobody charges 0 to 100. Oh, she's like playing tag or something. I thought she fell. Nobody does 0 to 100 for these tests, so 0 to 80 in under 5 minutes, and that would be how they could say under 5 minutes. Exactly right. Exactly. So 100 plus US-made wind turbines are headed to 2 RWE Texas projects. GE Vernova is going to apply more than 100 US-made wind turbines to renewables. The RWE is the name of the company. Renewables developer RWE for 308 megawatts wind project in Texas. RWE is repowering its 127 megawatt Forest Creek wind farm near Big Spring, Texas, to kick off the construction of its 181 megawatt Honey Mesquite project in the fall of 2025. These projects will deliver 308 megawatts of clean energy with 109 GE Vernovas at 2.82 megawatt wind turbines. That's each 2.82. Woo! So let's see, 308 minus what they say it was. They're building 181, so it's minus 181. Leaves us 127. To replace their existing 127. So these 127 are just a replacement, it sounds like. Unless, if we back that out, and this whole thing is to replace it, and we just take 127 from that, that's 181 new megawatts. That's what it says in the paragraph. Okay. No math needed. Construction is now officially underway at the Forest Creek, bringing some big upgrades that will extend the wind farm's life, which was commissioned in 2006 by another 30 years. 30 years. That's almost as long as solar panels. The original wind towers, turbines, and other gear are all being decommissioned, and 45 new GE Vernova wind turbines are each getting fresh foundations. I guess that's the thing sometimes, fresh foundations. Better safe than sorry for sure. Forest Creek is set to be back online by the end of 2025, and RWE is teaming up with Wanzak Construction, part of Mastech Renewables, to recycle or repurpose the old blades, rotors, and nacelles. So the nacelles are here, the engine cover, basically, if you will. There it is, the nacelles. The blades, obvious. And what else did they say? Oh, and the rotors and blades, rotors, and nacelles. And the rotor would be the part in the middle. Repowering is becoming big business. GE Vernova's onshore wind business has announced in January that it received orders for 2024 to repower over 1 gigawatt of wind turbines in the US. So another 3 or 4 of these projects, or including this project, another 3. It's huge. Together, the 2 projects will create hundreds of construction jobs and bring in millions of new economic activity into the region. And they're the 3rd largest renewable company. They said they've invested $9 billion in Texas since 2007, when Forest Creek first began operations. Not bad. Not bad at all. No comments on that? No, there they go. They didn't have them in the article for some reason. The repowering concept can make a lot of sense for solar rooftops too. Solar put in 2010 to 2020 is typically in the 200 to 300 watts per panel range. Yep, I've got 280s up there. A modern panel is 400 plus. The sizes are very similar. So whereas in the 2010s, we were able to hit 33 to 70% of a home's annualized load with annualized solar output, we can now hit and exceed 100%. Batteries extend that advantage even further. We do have to get the old panels. We do have to get the old panels into a second use or recycling program. Absolutely. But we've talked about several recycling programs out there. So this house has got 27 times 280. It's got 7.56 kilowatts of panels on it. And if we were to change that to just literally replace them all with 400 watt panels or 500 watt panels, let's go with 400 because the 400 should be about the same size. That would take it into 10.8 kilowatts. Not bad. And if somehow the 500 is the same size, I think the 550s are much bigger. That would be 13.5 kilowatts. Not bad. And I'm still not getting it all because my inverter is 250. So I'm clipping 30 watts off of each of the panels. I am the second use. I buy 250 watt used panels at steep discounts and repurpose them for cheap power at home and the homes of family and friends. There we go. Critical role. Wow, even your friends are lucky. I'm going to buy some old panels like that to extend my old Enphase M series microinverter based array. Hey, that's what I've got. Yeah, it's dirt cheap to buy that stuff off of the internet. This is true. Excellent idea. The solution for old panels is simple. A PV farm run by the City Hall where everyone can take their used panels is a win-win. For a second use for old panels means that solar repowering is essentially waste-free, unlike disposing of old batteries and generators. Old batteries. Which old batteries are we talking about? Because most of them are, if we're talking lead, they're 97 to 99% recycled. Oh, the blades and generators on the, he's talking about wind. Yes, absolutely. As you probably know, dwarfed by tons and tons of dirty fossil. You found a ribbon? Where'd you get a ribbon? From outside. I don't know where she got a ribbon from.
One way from stars. And
Sounds hygienic. Unfortunately, I don't think my city will look kindly upon me trying to erect an old but still useful wind turbine in my really tiny backyard. At this point, though, I think it'd be easier just to recycle the power head and go from there. So let's continue on. We're gonna copy link, paste and go. So RJ Scaringe, CEO of Rivian, says, "Love this. We developed our high charging hardware with a central focus on reliability and uptime. Excited to see it expand. Tesla and Rivian networks have the fewest problems, according to Consumer Reports. Congrats to the Rivian Adventure Network team. You guys are on track to become leaders in the charging infrastructure in the U.S. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them take over for Electrify America spot by the end of the year. Even though most people haven't seen one yet. The most problem-free EV charging networks in the U.S. right now are the ones built by Tesla and Rivian, according to a new survey from Consumer Reports. The publication surveyed 1,230 owners on their EV charging experiences between March of 24 and February of 24, 25, February 25 probably. And just 4% of the respondents said that they experienced problems at Tesla's supercharger network, and only 5% said they experienced problems using Rivian's Adventure network. Owners had the worst experience with Shell's Recharge network. No wonder they got out of it, huh? Or was that the other one? Somebody got out of it. Having reported 48% of the time, having had problems 48% of the time. EVgo and Blink chargers were similarly troublesome, with owners experiencing problems 43 and 41% of the time. Blink bought a network at the local hospital, and when I'm there, it takes some number of retries to actually get the thing to connect. But that's under Blink now, so that's on them. I think it needs to be like a SEMA Connect. Other well-known networks didn't perform too well either, with owners logging problems at Electrify America 35% of the time, and ChargePoint owners 24% of the time. ChargePoint really should have this down pat as much as they charge the site owners, and as long as they've been in the business. Rivian and Tesla were the only networks in the single digits. EVs made up 8% of vehicle sales in the U.S. last year, according to Cox Automotive. While sales growth has cooled, overall volume is still growing. People are increasingly embracing EVs, but it's clear from Consumer Report survey that many of the charging networks meant to support that adoption are lagging way behind. Yes, and the fact that until now, you couldn't use the Tesla or Rivian networks without now not being like right now, but recently, you couldn't use those branded networks without a matching car was a bit of an issue. But calling out broken screens, payment issues, slow charging power, community members are crowdsourcing data that will hold charging networks accountable and improve drivers' experience while public charging. So we've also got two manufacturer-led programs for this as well. We've got the Ford Charge Angels, where they go around and just try out chargers and put them on or take them off the list. And then you've got the same thing that the Tesla cars are doing. So as you plug in and out of third-party networks, if they become unreliable, your car removes them from the map. If they regain their reliability, it puts them back. All right, we've got Palo Alto Online reporting about a new Rivian deployment that we haven't seen before. So here we have the Palo Alto Police Department has added a Rivian R1S to their fleet for the first time. This is public safety, state of the city. There we go. Look at that. It looks a little weird with the white door. Shouldn't both doors be white? I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen that arrangement of a police vehicle. The purchase of the vehicle, which sells for about $90,000, is the latest step in the city's gradual electrification of its fleet. Palo Alto is encouraging the broader public to convert to electric vehicles by working with multifamily complexes to install electric chargers. He noted that during his overview of the city's sustainability efforts, that 17 multifamily properties had installed 263 electric vehicle chargers in the city's programs. Not bad. And the nonprofit developer Alta Housing has installed chargers in its 65-unit affordable housing project, Astorado Park. And there we go. So we were really just here for the police review. And moving on. While we've got these large wind projects going in, we've also got battery and residential storage has skyrocketed for 2024. The U.S. storage market set another record in 2024, installing 12.3 gigawatts. 12.3 gigawatts of new capacity across all sectors, according to a new report from the American Clean Power Association. So we're talking commercial, residential, utility. And in total, 12,314 megawatts and 37,143 megawatt hours of storage were added. So that gives us 12.3 gigawatts and 37.14 gigawatt hours of energy. The grid scale storage breaks records despite some delays. And we talked last week about how if you covered every suitable roof with solar panels, that would cover what we say 90+% of our power consumption requirements. We're getting there. Sometimes doing the right thing just pays. Yeah. Exactly. And then that's with you guys have a lot of like historic concerns as well. I was looking at a video put out by Will Prowse yesterday, and he was showing a solar carport, and I'll show it to you in just a second. We'll go over there and take a look. We won't watch the video, but we'll look at the structure. Final quarter saw a 20% dip in grid scale battery storage compared to 2023. Yeah, because the final quarter had us see a guy who's afraid of wind turbines and loves oil win the election. Residential battery storage hits new highs. Residential batteries saw the strongest year ever, installing 1.25 gigawatts in 2024, at a 57% increase from the previous year. The last quarter saw a record-breaking 380 megawatt hours added, a 6% bump compared to quarter three. The community scale, commercial, and industrial market also had a strong year, growing 22% year over year, with 145 megawatts installed. Not bad. California, Massachusetts, and New York together accounted for 88% of the market segment. Good gracious. Do better, everybody else. Looking ahead to 2025, the forecast for 2025 remains bullish, with expectations of 15 gigawatts in total new storage installations, with 25% compared to 2024. However, Wood Mackenzie research analyst firm Alan Finney warned that policy uncertainties could slow growth temporarily. So this uncertainty is huge. We're talking about right now, EVs are making up all of the growth in the automotive sector right now, and we're talking about between tariffs and the economy and just general disincentive nature, disincentives. They're saying that by 2030 we could be down 30% on EVs if this were to game out. Thankfully, he doesn't have until 2030 to be pushing gas. Unfortunately, whatever success he does have in discouraging people from doing the right thing will have knock-on effects from extreme weather and the fact that nobody's able to just give up their cars on a dime despite the anti-Elon protests' insistence. Very few people have the financial ability to just swap cars. That's needed. And even then, most people don't just destroy them when they're done. Cash for Clunkers was a unique situation, and I don't see us doing another one anytime soon. So even if the original owner gets rid of that that vehicle, it will still be out there for many, many more years. So we need to make sure they're electric to begin with, and there are forces at bay that are trying to stymie that right now. So let's go over to Will Prowse, like I promised. Let's go to YouTube. Will Prowse. And so this is a 12 kilowatt Chico budget solar charging carport. And we will click into it. Pause it. Look at that. So they have this in a regular rating, and then they also have it in a heavy duty. The heavy duty is rated up to 180 mile an hour winds. I was thinking I might need that for hurricanes over this building and tornadoes out of in my other home area, but I need to find the rating on this structure as is, because he says it's substantially more expensive to get the 180 mile an hour wind one, and I only need my panels rated to 160 to keep my insurance at this place. Plus, I can't install a carport because of HOAs. But since he's out in Arizona, or so, I think he's in Arizona. He's out in the high desert, wherever he is. And my place is out in the Midwest. I'm thinking this would be phenomenal. Get some shade on the vehicle and whatever else we want to store outside. I don't know, electric tractor or something, and and then generate some power. But we'll see. So if you are looking for a carport, I don't know Chico from anybody, but Will got one and he seems to enjoy it. Do get it professionally installed. Do read the instructions, and he says that you should call with the measurements of your, not just the measurements, but like with one of your solar panels. Call the company with them before your contractor starts, and they will give you perfect adjustments to make sure that this thing is set up for whatever panel you're trying to put on there. Continuing on, since that was not on the list. We've got our recall segment. And there's just one manufacturer in our recall segment today. There are 2 or 3 tire recalls. 1 or 2 of the tires could actually fit on the vehicles that we talk about here today. So going over to I do believe it's NHTSA. Go over to the NHTSA and check for the tire recalls for your tires. None of them were original equipment, I don't believe. I say that, but so many different factories around the world and so many different models that we talk about. So just check it out. Yeah, if they are directional, you don't want them on backwards, and make sure their pressures are right. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. I think we looked at the one that like it folds out all the way, and then if you wanted, you can pull it out into a carport with tracks, right? Yeah, that one looked pretty cool. So today's recall is on the Cybertruck, and it is a traditional full-on recall. You have to bring it into the shop, and it takes some time to work on. It's not an over-the-air software update recall. It is not a bring it into the dealer software update recall. It is a classic. The ability for the panels to maybe fall off, yes. So what's happening here is the canter rail. So you see this guy's finger on the edge of the canter rail right here. It's basically that triangle trim above the windows. The glue is not compatible with the environment, and not that it's bad for the environment, but the environment is bad for it. After a little while, it can become embrittled, and if you get the wrong little puff of wind or a jostle or tap, and then the whole upper side of the car is just trying to bend and fly off cosmetically. It's not needed structurally per se, but with it peeling back and flapping in the wind, it could catch somebody and give them a nice cut. Or if it's flying out far enough, it could cause damage to the environment. As far as like as you're driving through places, you could mess stuff up that way, as well as if it's flying out far enough, you could catch a VRU, a vulnerable road user, or a parked car, and well, that's not good. And eventually, it could fail so far that it just peels off the truck and goes flying, and now you become a litterer. So this is every Cybertruck built prior to March 21st has this problem. And so at the time they put the recall out, that included trucks they were still building. So they had a stop sale in place last week, and it was for the same reason. So at this point, go ahead and work with Tesla to go ahead and get your Canter-Rail recall servicing scheduled, and they will detach this from the car and put a new one on with glue that will survive the duration. Everybody has them. This time it's their turn. So Tesla's quietly put a containment hold on their Cybertruck deliveries. That was last week. With the reason not confirmed at the time, we reported that we suspected that there was a problem with the Canter-Rail. So he's got them all as one word. The Tesla documentation had it with a space in it. It's a decorative trim piece that covers the roof ledge of a vehicle. Oh, okay, so it's not just that. It's an industry term. The one underneath the light bar? Yeah, I wonder how that one happened. It was, yeah, and you can see how it contributes with the crash safety and everything. She brought that ribbon from outside and put it on my floor. Where did you find that? Outside?
Yeah, and the windy.
The wind blew it to you? Mm. Yeah, so the one under the light bar, I don't know what happened with that one. That's not under the recall, but this highlighted area right here on the screen, they'll peak from the sails all the way up to the end of the A-pillar, where it meets with the front fender and hood. It includes all model year 2024 and 2025 Cybertrucks manufactured from November 13th of 2023 to February 27th of 2025. I don't know why it's worded that way, because they did not fix the problem even on vehicles that were still being manufactured at the time they made the announcement. So as of Friday was the first day that they were making them not suck. Yeah, Friday. So if you have the truck now, it's susceptible. So that is 46,096 Cybertrucks that represent all Cybertrucks in the U.S. Uh-oh, what happened there? My screen did something weird on the phone. The company has confirmed that it added up to, and so the reason they are saying up to is they say that it only affects 1% of vehicles. They all use the same glue, but only 1% are affected. And the amount of them we saw was clearly more than 1% of them with the flappity flap. Tesla describes the exact issue with the Canter-Rail trim falling off the vehicle. They say the Cybertruck is equipped with a cosmetic applique along the exterior of the vehicle, known as the Canter-Rail, which is an assembly comprised of an electro-coated. Can't hear me in space. That means the space is about to crash. Can I join my own space from the tablet? Not like that. Reconnect the space. Okay. All right, so now I'm on the tablet, so that means I should be able to nuke the phone and then reconnect there. So let's do that. Okay, let's go to X. Join my own space. Reconnect the space. All right. Am I in stereo? Can you hear me on the phone? Yeah. Okay. I don't want to end the space. I just want to end Twitter on tablet. Okay. So I've recovered it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Woo. So we need to teach Famous that trick if he's got a spare like junk tablet or phone or something, because the way he's doing it on the computer doesn't always catch it. Whew. Saved it. Yes. We shouldn't have to do this, but you know, when you run your software company at the bare minimum, sometimes you get awesome stuff, and other times you get long-standing bugs. Eventually, they'll fix it. So, as I was saying, Tesla says, I was up to the Cantrail, which the Cybertruck is equipped with a cosmetic applique along the exterior of the vehicle, known as the Cantrail, which is an assembly comprised of an electro-coated steel stamping joined to a stainless steel panel with a structural adhesive. The Cantrail assembly is affixed to the vehicle with fasteners. On affected vehicles, the Cantrail stainless steel panel may delaminate from the adhesive joint, which may cause the panel to separate from the vehicle. AKA, they've got the beauty trim on an assembly, and it peels off from the assembly, and they're going to fix it. So they're going to just unclip the old one and put in one that's got the right amount of proper glue. The remedy involves replacing the Cantrail assembly with one that meets durability testing requirements. The difference with the old trim is that the new one will have a better adhesive assembly and a stud welded to the stainless panel with a nut clamping the steel panel to the vehicle structure. Some folks joked that it was another case of the rivet in the pedal, but you can do all of that internally without having an external rivet. So hopefully they don't have an external nut on the outside. The inside, it's fine. The vehicle's built for it. That Drake's take. This is the second Cybertruck. Wait, I didn't finish with that. It hadn't implemented the remedy to the vehicles in production yet, but plans to around March 21st of 2025. So this Friday passed. They also confirmed that containment hold on the Cybertruck, saying it would fix the issue before delivering the existing vehicles to customers. So if you haven't taken delivery yet, when they finally do let you take it, it should be good to go. So the top comment by EV Soon says, I wonder if people with wraps will have to pay for the repair wrap. Yes, you will, because they're only obligated to replace the vehicle as is. So if you're fine with having two gleaming silver arches at the top of your wrapped vehicle, then they'll do that for you. And because it is a recall, they have to give you have to give them back the parts. Unlike with a customer repair where you can ask for the parts back and they have to give them to you. So yeah, you'll have to pay for a rewrap or let them sit. But if you say, oh, well, I've got it wrapped, so I'm not going to get the recall done, then what happens is, should the thing go flying into the road and hurt somebody, they're not going to sue Tesla. They're going to sue you. Because you knew there was a recall, you neglected to get the recall done, and now you've injured them in some fashion. That's a large piece of steel, several feet long, sharp, and shaped like a boomerang. I advise you to just do the right thing and then either not wrap it again or get it rewrapped at your expense. Tesla's like, oh, it's only 1% of the vehicles, but they recalled it, so that puts it on you for liability. Automaker control. This is the second Cybertruck recall for trim falling off, and that's the on top of the trim for the accelerator pedal falling off. This is true. Funny enough, Tesla had a similar solution when the accelerator pedal screwed in place, but that one they put a rivet through the pedal versus. I certainly don't expect them to have anything external on this part. This is getting quite a bit ridiculous. There's always problems with new vehicles, but there are problems, and there are problems. I don't know that I really agree with that. You should see some of the crazy crap I saw on various new models and old models in my years in the auto industry as like sales and service and support before I just became an enthusiast commenting on the industry. Tesla's now almost a year and a half into the Cybertruck production, and it has to recall all of them due to a significant design flaw. And that's not. It's an embarrassing trim flaw. I wouldn't call it a significant design flaw. A design flaw would be if Zach Jerry Riggs.
The ribbon.
You scared of the ribbon? Well, why'd you bring it to me if you're scared of it? I'm gonna throw it away because it's nasty. It's outside. There. I'll say. I picked it up with my foot and threw it in the trash can.
Ribbon for tea.
Ribbon for tea.
Ribbon for dead when
Jingle bell.
yeah, when
You think it's a Christmas ribbon?
Yeah.
Why does it look so fresh? Christmas was a long time ago. Christmas was like an eighth of your lifetime ago. Yeah. Which is why it's so weird that he describes it this way. It's like, if you want to say it that way, but that's. Yeah, that's what people mean when they say, the child has died, and that is respectful. What he's doing with Vivian is not respectful, and he's going to complain that he doesn't have a relationship with the child anymore. But when you describe the child this way in public to the public, then why would the kid want to talk to you anymore? Right. What I'm saying is he's 50, almost 60 years old. This is a teenager. He needs to always be the bigger person. This one is going to break my heart. This 20. Okay. Either way, this one is going to break my heart numerous times, and I have to be the bigger person and be ready for it. It could have been mutual. He could have been mutual, but as the parent, I'm not there. I don't know. As the parent, you have to be ready for, just be ready to reconciliate. But if you behave childishly in response to the child being a child and immature, then that makes it really hard to repair the relationship. That I can say. No.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That looks like a nose.
The face.
That's a face.
The way.
Go away.
And the way.
I don't want to go away. I'm in my room.
Way.
Way.
Yeah, that one way. And the shop. And the shop, Daddy, and the shop. And the shop, Daddy.
Okay.
And I handle your shop.
You don't want to poke him. Yeah. I've got chocolate on my fingers.
Doing Daddy?
Clean my hand.
Like Mama came her hand from food.
Yes, from the chocolate. I don't know what happened to my I have washable napkins. I have a whole stack of them. I guess I'll have to order more. Oh,
And I done it.
I haven't seen that. That's interesting. But is a lolly like a lollipop or is it like a ice pop? Okay. Okay.
For you.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We got some small ones that they're too small for her to enjoy them.
Daddy, I kind of.
The reason I asked is because we call chips and fries something different. So I had to double check. And biscuits and cookies. Huh? Yeah.
Where you?
Where me? I'm right there.
What you doing?
Talking to my friends.
What you doing moving?
Am I moving? Because the purple belt. That would be a little weird. You can tell that's his kid. He behaves that way sometimes. You can tell that's his child. There's a lot of people whose kids talk trash about them for various reasons. So back to the recall. If you're not sure, Tesla really meant for the Cybertruck to be built out of an exoskeleton at one point, but they clearly gave up, and the production is clearly a unibody system with panels. I don't know about that either, though. Because look, belly.
Yeah, handle your belly.
You colored my belly. Okay, I think I see it. Like those are glasses and a big nose. She said I have a big nose.
I handle your glasses.
Colored my glasses. Okay,
And your eyes.
and my eyes.
Yes, and you see your
All right, so it won't make the picture bigger, but I don't want to say that it's entirely a unibody because look at the bed structure. It clearly is depending on the stressed units of the sail, and if you unload it, you can take the sails off without crushing the vehicle. So it's more of a hybrid than they described as far as the exoskeleton, but is not like a bug exoskeleton like they had described initially. But I will say that Fred is being too hard on him for that. Do we want to look at the comments? That would be sharp. That would be sharp. So Beast Guy is saying that, yeah, so there's also a possibility that while they don't have to replace your wrap, that they might. Like the rest, try again, please. Rivian replaced the door on my R1S. Because of the painting and blending, Rivian also fully paid for the reapplication of the 10 mil XPEL and ceramic coating on 2 doors and the rear quarter panel, plus the new Rivian letter badging also. It was not cheap.
Your back, Daddy.
The letter badging they probably should have had to do, because if they had to paint and blend it, then they also owe you the badge, because the badge was on the car when it was new. But as far as the paint protection and the ceramic coating, I think they just did you a solid, guy. I don't see that they're required to do that unless Rivian was your insurance company, and they're not. The only other case where they would have to do this would be if you had the vehicle in for service and they wrecked it and they're doing the right thing by you, even though your insurance is actually on the hook for anything that happens while it's in service.
So,
A blue pencil.
yeah,
I'll go find it.
I can see I want it.
You can't see and you want it. Oh, you want this blue pen over here under your unicorns? Is that what you're talking about? I don't think it works. That's why it's not in my pocket. I used to keep a blue pen in my pocket all the time because you never know when you got to sign stuff. But with work from home and with that last pen just self-destructing, I never replaced it.
It's working.
It's working for now. And then it starts to fade out. I don't think doing right by one customer is probably the reason Rivian's on the ropes, but what do I know? What?
For you.
Blue for me. Okay. This is not trim falling off. It's a futuristic breakthrough self-disassembly exoskeleton. I believe the biology process, this is called molting. There you go. It's molting. Cybertrucks are molting. Elon, what is the cheapest glue that will last until the warranty expires? That's too much. Use this. It's not just Tesla. This everybody has the minimum viable product and the planned obsolescence. So we have an 8-year warranty. What part will last 8 years in one day? Here it is. Here you go. But let's not get into any of that. Then we had another copy of the same thing from Inside EVs, but we've already discussed the meat of the recall, so let's not. And then we're going to get back on charging stations for a streak because I did have time to massage a bit of the notebook. So South Korea just opened its largest EV charging hub. We're looking at an outdoor EV fast charging hub at the Korea International Exhibition Center at Kintex in Goyang. The new hub is built using charging network provider Water. It features 46 fast chargers capable of juicing up everything from electric cars to buses and trucks. And since South Korea is through North Korea and nobody's ferrying their cars across, I assume this is all CCS and NACS because Korea has been on J1772 and CHAdeMO from the beginning. So let's see what the article says. It says that they host around 5.8 million visitors per year, so a major charging hub like this makes a lot of sense. Water installed 8 200 kilowatt and 38 100 kilowatt EV chargers, and the station is split across 2 sections of an outdoor parking lot near Exhibition Center 2. And drivers can easily access the chargers from Isan Lake Park, and there are no height restrictions, meaning electric buses and trucks won't have to struggle to find a compatible spot. The hub is also topped with Water's signature wooden canopy, which not only makes it easier to spot, but also lowers their construction and carbon footprint compared to steel or concrete structures. Dong-Yoon Lee, Water's director of business development, says that the 46 chargers eliminate the hassle of hunting for multiple stations while providing a one-stop fast charging experience. Even during peak hours, wait time should be minimal. Kintex has nearly 7,000 parking spaces, so out of 7,000 spaces, they've given 50 away to high-speed chargers, and I imagine they also have some level 2s already there. The South Korean regulations require that at least 5% of spaces at public venues be designated for EV charging. Very progressive. This new hub goes above and beyond that requirement, which is especially needed as Kintex expands and some parking areas close. So that means that even while they're doing their construction, they would still be compliant. The best kind of compliant. The project is part of the broader push to improve Goyang's green infrastructure. Water was chosen last April to install 107 chargers across 14 locations in the city, and the entire network is expected to be up and running by the end of the month. Wow! 107 chargers in, what would they say, since April, so 1 year. That is pretty darn good, especially when you consider that they're not using the modular stations provided by the Buffalo Gigafactory, unlike some other providers. Oh, we've seen how much trouble Kyle had with his units.
That's so sick.
You want to close it? You good? Good. Yeah. You say that's me? Huh?
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Yes, you're welcome, baby. I guess I should have had a camera on her the whole time. She was doing a show. For one, a show for me. I feel so special. The water EV charging network of a brand of Bright Energy product partners, the South Energy Renewable Energy Company, has South Korea Renewable Energy Company infrastructure company has been backed by BlackRock. So our people are getting into that. To limit power outages and to make your home more resilient, we are. That's not part of the article. That's part of their advertorial. And let's look at the comments real quick. There's only 5 of them. 8 200 kilowatt and 38 100 kilowatt EV chargers. 7,000 parking spaces. All right, so this guy's doing the math. By my math, 5% of 7,000 is 350, not 46. So that's where I was saying that it probably includes a number of level 2s. So 350 minus 46, so they have 301 level 2 chargers to be at the full 5%. Are there other chargers that bring the total up to what's required? Or is the idea that these are DC fast chargers rather than level 2? I don't think that DC charger makes up for a level 2 charger if that's a requirement. The regulations that have not been explained. For buildings constructed before 2022, EV chargers are only required for up to 2% of the space. Additionally, there's already another CPO operating at the Kintex before water. Yep. Thanks. Do you know of any charging stations the other provider has there, and are they level 2s or fast chargers? 7,000 times 0.2 is still 140, so they'd need 90 or a bit more. And 46 is not 90. Water. Yeah, that's what they named it. Just a CPO brand. Let's continue with charging. We're going to look at the very familiar one to most of us here in the States, providing charging for many brands across the country. Honda and Acura have gained access to the Tesla superchargers in June. They signed up a while ago now, and it's now their turn. I imagine that they're going to make you pay for adapters. We'll see. January, they indicated they were joining as well. Not January 25, but January 24. Today, the Japanese automaker confirmed that EV owners, more specifically the Prologue and Acura's EDX, aka Chevys with better looking interiors and exteriors, depending on who you ask, they are definitely better selling than the base models, which is impressive to me. Like, hey, I'm gonna take your thing and I'm gonna sell it better than you. I guess it's the same as like a big account coming and taking your content and then doing better than you did with it. Tesla superchargers across the United States starting in June of 25, the more precise timeline than previously announced. Honda also confirmed they will offer. Not offer. Confirmed that it'll offer its own Honda-approved NACS to CCS DC fast charging adapter, which will be available to purchase close to June at Honda and Acura dealerships. So I did not think it would be free, and it's not. So who gave them away for free? Ford, but some Chevys, but most of them have been paid so far. Ryan Hardy is Assistant Vice President of Sustainability at Business Development of American Honda Motor Company. Commented on the news. Adding Tesla Supercharger network access to charging networks already available to our EV customers means industry-leading fast charging access for Honda and Acura EV drivers. By the end of this decade, we strive to provide Honda and Acura EV drivers with most convenient and easy charging at more than 100,000 charge points nationwide, helping people choose to purchase an EV for the many benefits of driving one. There we go. Tesla Supercharger network is consistently ranked as one of the most reliable networks. We just talked about that. Here's a list of automakers that have access already. Ford, Rivian. Oh yeah, Rivian gave free ones away too. There we go. Ford, Rivian, GM, Volvo, Polestar, Nissan, Lucid, and Mercedes-Benz. And the coming soons, we've got Honda, Acura, BMW, Genesis, Hyundai. Why is Hyundai listed as coming soon when they've already got it? They've got native NACs, and then they've got their adapters. They rolled back at the last minute the adapters last month. That's why. Jaguar Land Rover and Kia. Same thing as Hyundai. Why they haven't done yet. Same for Genesis. Why they haven't done yet. Okay. So we're almost there for everybody on the coming soon. Now we can add Honda and Acura to that list. And then Nissan is actually already in because they were in and out of the coming soon list. In the end, the main useful thing that came out of the program was cracking open the Tesla Supercharger network to everyone and standardizing NACs. I know that was not the intent of the program, but that was the effect. Most of the rest of the IRA charging infrastructure program is being canceled and was, if we are honest, poorly thought out, poorly spec'd, and overpriced. I'll give that to you. I will disagree on technicalities, but I'll give that to you. The Supercharger network being open is the most important and lasting legacy. Get a little eye to that sticker. What? Their projects had nothing to do with it. No, actually they did, because without that, there would have been no pressure to do this. And as we saw from the previous versions of the program, nobody had been interested in joining. So, or interested in going all the way through to joining. That is objectively wrong. Tesla opened up the network and worked to make its charging network public standard explicitly because of the money in the IRA to fund non-proprietary EV charging stations. The only way Tesla could get access to that money was to open the Supercharger network to the rest of the industry. It's true. And they tried a couple times to just get in, and that's when they came out with Magic Dock, and they just kept going. And I think it all worked out in the end for the right reasons. Or not right reason, for the right end effect. For whatever the reasons actually were. Honda Prologue can already charge its Supercharger V3 and V4 by telling the Tesla app that your car is a Chevy Blazer EV. Because it is. I was wondering if that was the case. It's the same guts, just a different skin. There you go. I wonder why Hyundai isn't on that list. Their 2025 cars have the NACS charging port installed from the factory. And that's because they went back on the adapters. Both Kia and Hyundai models older than 2025 did work after they unlocked it for 2025 models with the native NACS port. Tesla didn't like that, and they fixed the glitch. So those with older models and adapters can't charge there again. Fred needs a tweener list to put Hyundai on these articles, since the newer cars do work. That's true. And I'll agree. I'm wondering what is taking so long for the pre-25 Hyundai models. The boost converter, they charge really slow when using their boost converter. Same with the Porsche. Their boost converter kind of sucks. And same with the old Lucids. Their boost converter also sucks on networks like the Tesla network. Then Kia by mid-February, by the end of 24. All right, let's move on. I was hoping that they would say what plug they use over there, but it's probably CCS1. So we're going to then move on to the unfortunate news of the month. And over in Canada, 80 customer cars were damaged in Hamilton, Ontario. Oh, that's what that smell is. The air conditioner just started. It got hot. All right. The browser is like lock solid. There it is. There we go. And over 80 Teslas were damaged in Ontario. And, the wave of violence and attacks targeted against Tesla in Canada continue with the latest incident involving over 80 vehicles in Hamilton, Ontario. The Hamilton Police Services, HPS, say upwards of 80 vehicles were damaged at Canada's largest Tesla service center located in CF Lime Ridge Mall. So again, this is a service center. We're talking customer cars. No photos are released, but authorities say the damage included deep scratches and punctured tires. Given that this location is not a delivery center, it is likely that all of the damaged cars were customer-owned and at the location for service. Hamilton police are currently reviewing the CCTV footage and asking the public for any information that may be helpful to identify individuals responsible for this act of mischief. They encourage witnesses and anyone with information or dashcam footage of the area around the time of the incident to contact the Division 3 staff sergeant at 905-4546-3886. Additionally, anonymous tips can be provided through Crime Stoppers at 800-222-8477. This is for the Canadian Crime Stoppers, obviously. While this is the largest incident of vandalism involving Tesla vehicles, it is far from the first. In the recent weeks, Teslas have been increasingly the targets of vandalism and attacks. One of the most significant incidents occurred in Nanaimo, British Columbia, where a Tesla supercharger station was deliberately set on fire last week. A similarly shocking event took place in London, Ontario, just a few days later, when Tesla Model S was intentionally set on fire at a CF Masonville mall. Yesterday, activists targeted a Tesla store in Montreal, spray painting the facade of the building in protest against Tesla CEO Elon Musk. And they were quickly apprehended and then remanded to confinement. We will see what happens to them. Anders, good evening. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Anders says, don't forget to hit the like button. So, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And X and YouTube, yeah, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, every little bit helps with this. And the screen turned off. The news? Nice. I was going to ask if it was 1,800, 1,500, or 1,400 this time, because it's had a bit of a jumping around in the price department. Were they sued or was it just a recall? Oh, they were sued because that lady was on it and she was way bigger than she should have been to be on it. And she was on it with somebody else. Mm-hmm. And then they just had to put a proper sticker on it. Well, they brought it back once before as well. So, the Vancouver Police Department also says Tesla makes an arrest in dealership mishap. A Vancouver man was arrested and faces mischief charges after a Kitsilano car dealership was vandalized overnight. VPD officers responded to the Tesla dealership near Broad and West 4th Avenue around 1:30 in the morning. And today, following reports, a man spray painted obscenities on the front window of the business. A witness called 911, allowing officers to respond immediately and locate the suspect nearby. The suspect, age 27, was released and directed to appear in criminal court on May 15th. It's a while from now. Vancouver Police Department supports everyone's right to engage in peaceful and lawful protests. However, people who commit acts of violence and mischief will face arrest and criminal charges. Since January 1st, there have been 8 confirmed acts of mischief in Vancouver that the police believe are politically motivated and in opposition to Musk's political affiliation with the U.S. government. All files remain open and are actively being investigated. Yeah. Definitely. All right, so I'm going to shuffle around a little bit and kind of make a theme here. What you got? Yeah. Yeah, that's around the corner from here. This young man, he had some Molotovs and he firebombed the station. And then he got himself and ran to, this is over at the Tanger outlets over in Charleston, over the mellow mushrooms. So he managed to get his own back, and then he ran off between some hotels and disappeared for a while. And they found out he's a James Island resident, and he's now in custody as well. Similar to this Vancouver guy, he's got like a May time frame to show up in court, and you can't do whatever it is you're trying to do from jail. And it's not that great a cause that the people will consider you a martyr. They'll just forget about you. So don't do it. But we'll keep it as a theme, just so I can get all these out of the way. So there was a hoax going around that Fred has debunked for us. They say, OMG is happening. The 2024 Cybertruck does not qualify for coverage under Safeco's personal auto program. Vehicle is being added to our ineligible list. So the first reaction from people was, who is Safeco? Well, without Safeco, I would not have had affordable car insurance for my first car. First car that I bought. Who did I have? I don't think I had them for insurance on my first car, the one that Grandpa gave me, just a hand-me-down. But the first car I bought, it was like $200 or $300 a month for the car, and it was another $50 more than that for the insurance. Bastards. So I didn't even use it. This is going to leave a mark. Wow. So it alleges that it's from them, and it could be. But if it is from them, it was an error. Now, notice the policy renewal or non-renewal. Automobile policy number, blah, blah, blah. Dear policyholder, after careful consideration, we have concluded that we will not be able to renew your automobile insurance policy coverage. Policy coverage will end at 12:01 standard time on May 17th, 2025. And this could be real, but it might not be for the reason that's stated here. It may be a wrong reason. I had the race insurance for my Model X non-renewed after I used it as well. Not that I cashed in on it, but I just had it so I could run the drag strips with Model X. After careful consideration, we've concluded that we will not be able to renew, blah, blah. We regret this decision, and we feel it is necessary for the following reason. The 2024 Cybertruck does not qualify for coverage under Safeco's personal auto program due to the vehicle being on our ineligible vehicle list. As you can see from the date and time shown, your coverage does not end immediately. This should allow you time to arrange for other insurance before your policy expires. Your independent agent has been informed of this decision and can best advise you on available options. Liberty County Mutual Insurance Company, personal lines underwriting. And was previously insured, won't be, yikes, blah, blah, blah. You might want to go with the real insurance company, whoever heard of Safeco. Me! I heard of Safeco. Because I had them. Who said that? I responded to somebody. I should be on one of these. Am I spam? No, I'm not spam. They're part of Liberty Mutual. I don't know if they always have been, but they are now. And I guess I thought it was one of these guys that I responded to, but I guess not. I didn't delete it. So anyway, so Fred went ahead and did the reporter thing, and Liberty Mutual has confirmed to Electric that this letter was sent in error. They added there is no non-renewal effort underway for Tesla Cybertrucks. They still cover Cybertruck. There you go. And then he said, you can't say I only post negative things about Tesla. I just debunked a negative post about Tesla. And then whatever else was there was fully spam because I clicked it and it didn't even show. All right, so let's continue on one more of these stories before we get on to, I guess let's get back to charging. I told you I'd get some themes in here. I want to edit the link. I want to copy the link. Paste and go. This is from Sawyer, from a San Francisco Chronicle opinion piece. And this is what I've been saying the whole time. I did not write the article, but I've been saying this repeatedly. In quotes, I drive a Tesla. I bought one because climate change is a threat and has to be addressed. I was an environmental hero, and now I'm branded as a 1930s German fascist. What good would it do to sell my Tesla at a loss and have someone else drive it? Mm-hmm. Answer me that. Or should we all just dump our Teslas and let them rust? I was thinking recycle them, but what point is that? Again, you now owe money on a slag metal. I don't see how this would make anything better or impact Mr. Musk. It would be performative act and cancel culture and virtual signaling at their worst. Again, this is the second largest purchase people make behind their home, typically. Some people do boats, but I think a lot of people pick boats that are less expensive than their cars. I think. I don't know. But either way, right up there, very few people make another large purchase behind their house other than their car. And then Spotted Model came up with this. And he says, the benefits of selling your Tesla now. We got red, yellow, and blue. And then in the chart, you've got orange, purple, and green. They're labeled stick it to the man and stop Doge. Okay, that's not represented on the chart. Impress your followers you never meet. That actually could be the orange on the chart for all I'm concerned. Hold a sign, even with more conviction stating that your productive Saturdays are yelling against traffic. The argument summed up in one simple chart I made this morning. You want to talk about 1930s fascists? Some true sanity coming from the SF Chronicle. We need more verses like this. I don't get the logic. Defined by war and genocide, not gestures. Well, there was that, but I don't think that's why they're saying it. I think it's the other stuff. When you vandalize Tesla, the owner might be a Trump supporter. Congrats, you got your guy. However, they will support Trump more than ever. If they're a Democrat, now they will just vote Trump because of disgusting behavior of the left. That's not necessarily the case, but it will definitely then be a consideration that might be there that wasn't there before. Either way, the woke left lose and Republicans be stronger than ever. Tell me, when has history of violence ever win in the end? Not even once. I don't want to say zero, but I will say that it's a car. It's not a political statement for most people, unless they bought it for the environment. But like me, environment wasn't even in my top three. It was there, but it was not in my top three. The safety, the tech, the savings. They actually thought it through several weeks later. All right, I don't think there's much I can get into on that doesn't jump straight into politics. I'm curious what this is. Let's see. Oh, talking about Porsche. Yeah, Porsche made tanks, the people's car, all that. It's like I keep saying, you can't just get away from this stuff. So let's go back to charging and charging stations. All right, I think that's the end of that stuff for the week. Let's go here. In recent months, Tesla upgraded 69 supercharger locations in Germany from V2 to the latest V4 technology. These are V3 pluses, all the way through V3 pluses. But this is exactly what Max Ziegler promised us, that they would be converting stations from short cables to long cables. This does that. So all of Germany is now 250 kilowatts or more. But they don't have any Cybertrucks there, so let's just call it 250 because we can't. Well, that's not true. We've got the CCS2 and the ones that are open for other non-Teslas. You might be able to go faster than that, up to 325. So this affects a total of 640 charging points. This means Tesla's now upgraded its entire German supercharger network to 250. So anyone who says that they haven't done it, they just did a whole country. So look a little closer at the maps and you might see that they are either adding or upgrading more stations than those. The old V2s were a pain, and they were busy, and had to share power. Yep. Can I get this in Miami? Bricknell needs stations, charging inside a mall that charges $6 for 20-minute parking and a 75 kilowatt. You can get extra H in there. Charger cannot be the solution around here. Badly needed for North America too. Sharing power in V2 is the most painful thing ever. That's disgusting. David Crockett says ready to burn. Continuing on, we're going to keep on with the charging. Copy link. And this one we already touched on, but it just is an article to what RJ told us. Study. Tesla, Rivian, charging networks have far fewer problems. Oh, no, I guess we had an article on it before because we were talking about the percentages. So there it is. Again. One of those looks all tilty like it got hit. EVgo didn't do so well. Blink didn't do well. Yeah, we talked about this. Continuing on. Are there any more on charging? Yes, there are more on charging. This one is good news. It's a milestone. There are now 50% more EV chargers than gas nozzles in California. California has 178,549 shared and private EV chargers, hitting a milestone with more than 48% more chargers statewide than gas nozzles. Governor Newsom made the announcement, said, as federal government works to make it harder for you to charge your electric car, California is doing the opposite. We now have nearly 50% more chargers than gas nozzles in your state, meaning you have more options than ever to charge your vehicle. We're embracing the clean car future and providing consumers with more choices no matter what big government mandates come out of Washington. Excuse me. So as we were leaving DC, I saw a couple of gas stations tearing down and renovating. I was like, why? Unless you're right off the highway, which none of these were, it's going to make it hard to pay back your investment in snacks because you're not making it back in gas sales. And then the gas sales are going to diminish as EV sales increase. And the DC area was a pretty popular area to have EVs in. As long as it wasn't a California exclusive car, they had it free to purchase. Okay. The CEC, the California Energy Commission, estimates about 120,000 gas nozzles in the state, compared to about 178,000 public and shared private EV chargers. That includes 162,000 level 2 and 17,000 DC fast chargers. And that doesn't count the estimated 700,000 plus level 2 chargers in single family homes. Okay, so they're skipping entirely the ones that are, this is mine. I'm not sharing my electricity with my neighbor. The new charger totals released yesterday reflect the CEC's improved data tracking efforts and tapping into additional sources to get a clearer picture of operational chargers statewide. Of the 73,537 chargers added to the data set in 2024, nearly 38,000 of them are newly installed, while the other 35,554 were already plugged in before 2024, but not identified. I never see a station around me. How are you going to use that car? Oh, all this other stuff. Robert sees them all the time walking. You just got to look for them. Yeah. Exactly. Mm-mm. Tell them breathe into it. Mm. Ooh. Man. All right, so next up, we've got this one from Electric. This one is Korea's first electric pickup truck. And it's not from Hyundai or Kia. It's not Genesis either. This is the KGM Muso EV, Korea's first electric pickup, not from Kia or Hyundai. Launched earlier this month, the electric truck is already racking up orders. The special edition version is sold out in under 2 hours. Meet the KGM Muso EV. KG Mobility, or simply KGM, is a South Korean car maker known for its rugged 4x4s, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On March 5th, the company launched the Muso EV. With the functionality of a pickup and the comfort of an SUV, the Muso is already drawing in buyers. KGM announced on Wednesday the electric pickup secured over 3,200 orders in just 2 weeks, and the Muso EV Special Edition was sold out in an hour and a half. I like the look of this interior here. It's clean, not too many buttons, not too many like unnecessary frills, but it also looks comfortable. Looks a little tight, but that might just be the wide-angle lens, or worse, the lens is making it look bigger than it is. But we have too many big trucks. We need some more small trucks again. And I wonder if Hyundai or Kia could contract assemble this here in the States for them if it meets the requirements. That would be cool. They're touting it as a new alternative to mid-sized SUVs to be used as everyday family car with more interior space. Inside, the pickup drops a slim and wide layout. At the center of the panoramic windscreen sits two 12.3-inch digital clusters and navigation screens. Standard features include Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, clear sight ground view cameras. That's good. So that means you can look out your cameras around the car, and a wireless phone charger. You'll have to pay extra for the sunroof, 3D monitoring system, utility roof rack, skid plates, or premium Alpine audio system. So they're clearly a traditional legacy automaker with things like that. Powered by an 86.6 kilowatt-hour lithium iron phosphate pack, the pickup has nearly 250 miles of driving range. I don't know what cycle the Korea drive tests are done with. They're not done with EPA, but if what they use is close to EPA, that'd be really cool. With up to 200 kilowatt fast charging, the Muso EV can charge it up to 80% in 24 minutes. It's not bad. It also includes vehicle-to-load capabilities, so they're keeping up with Hyundai and Kia there. You can power up a work site, camping setup, or electronics and more. It's available on both single front-wheel drive and dual-motor setups. The front-wheel drive version has a 152.2 kilowatt front motor with up to 207 horsepower, and the all-wheel drive gets 413 horsepower. It can tow close to 4,000 pounds, not bad. It includes a trailer sway function to help stabilize the vehicle. Even better. At 5160 millimeters long and 1920 millimeters wide and 1740 millimeters tall, the Muso EV is about the size of a Ford Ranger. Hey, that's a popular truck here. I told you we need more small trucks. I wonder if the that topper is something you can get from the manufacturer based on the pictures there. There's a rack, there's a topper, and there's a pickup. There's a full pickup. There's a full pickup with a rack. Top comment by MRVC, liked by 7 people. It looks like it will do small truck things well. At $27,000, that's a win. That's a good price. $27,000 for a truck these days. That's a win. I think that Ford could have focused on hybrids and BEV Mavericks as well as Bronco Sport and Escape, and would have been a lot better off than focusing on the Lightning and the Mach-E. In addition to, I say that, I won't say other than, in addition to. Korea's first electric pickup starts at just 48 million won, or $32,800. With incentives, KGM expects the actual purchase price to be around 39.62 million won, or $27,000. KGM spokesperson said that the electric Musso EV pickup is designed for a wide range of customers. We hope that it will break the electric vehicle chasm and continue to successfully establish itself in the market. Electric asks, would you buy the KGM pickup over the Ford Lightning or Rivian R1S or Tesla Cybertruck? Let us know. I like it. Would I get it instead of something? No. But that's just because I need a tow. Want to tow? Need to tow? Whatever. I'm gonna be towing, and that's a good looking truck. Good on them. And it looks much bigger in the picture, so I'm guessing that was just a camera trick that made the interior look so wonky. KGM probably isn't coming to the U.S. anytime soon, and they would need to build it in the U.S. to get around the chicken tax. Oh, because it's a truck, yes. And KGM brand has zero market presence here. Well past time we eliminate the chicken tax and fix cafe regulations for light trucks. Agreed. But like I said, if they hand it over to Hyundai and Kia as a license deal, then we could very easily see it here if it meets the rest of the standards. I don't think we'll be moving towards fewer tariffs anytime soon. Definitely not for the next 3 years and 10 months. Greg says, I don't believe this crew has that long. I'll be surprised if, okay, purely political comment. Yeah, we'll see what happens with all of that. It's baffling, some of the moves that are being made. A friend of mine has a diesel Musso and a dual cab chassis, and put on a real canopy and the back waist level access from all sides. If they brought this configuration out in Australia, it would sell well. Yeah, Australia's got the same problem as the rest of us pickup truck Landians, where the belt line of the trucks has become ridiculously high. You can't just reach over and put stuff in the bed anymore. 200 kilowatt hours, a little much energy for an 86 kilowatt hour battery. I think they meant to say power is 200 kilowatts. Yes, exactly. All right, so that is that truck. And then we've got this one from Sawyer. We've got some news from the company meeting that Slimy was telling us about at the beginning of the call. Slimy will let us know if Sawyer missed anything. Here's everything we learned from Tesla's All Hands live stream. Tesla produced its first Optimus robot at the new production line in Fremont. New Optimus with hands with 22 degrees of freedom, up from 11, and new forearm is in production. Cybercab will ultimately roll off the production line every 5 seconds versus 35 seconds for Model Y. The 4680 cell is now at its lowest cost per kilowatt hour in the world. So maybe Cybertruck will drop in price sometime soon now. Or we'll start seeing 4680s come back into the Model Y and such. Dojo 1 is active in New York and Palo Alto, handling about 10% of the training load currently. I thought he said 5%. Did he say 5 to 10%? And he just said 10. Anyway, Dojo 2 is on the way, and it will be 10 times better than Dojo 1. A real shot at a breakthrough. Tesla's on track to build 10 millionth car in 2026, and the Model Y is on track to be the best-selling car in the world in 2025 for the 3rd year in a row. So this is interesting because we don't have any visibility into the numbers except for once a quarter and doing the right. But we don't have any visibility into it other than the company telling us, or the people doing the sleuthing, like looking at various registration records around the world, like in China with insurance and the DMV records in the various states. And we saw that there was a dip, but then we saw in China all of a sudden it exploded. Like there was a new record, and that was because folks were anticipating the new one, and there it was. They got it, and we'll see publicly what happened. But he's looking at the numbers internally, and he says they're on track to build 10 million, and that they are on track to be the best-selling car in the world again for the 3rd year in a row. that's impressive. And I think that if they can contain this whole vitriol situation, it might do even better than that. The semi-truck factory remains on track to complete construction this year. And Elon wants to experiment with larger gigacasting machines, potentially up to 50,000 tons. Currently, the Cybertruck is their largest with 9,000 tons. They produced their 160,000 NACS adapters at Giga New York. And I thought that was interesting because Ford was bragging about their 140,000 NACS adapter deliveries. So I was suggesting that perhaps almost all of those adapters went to Ford. Because Ford, while they were talking about their Electron adapter, Ford was giving away the Tesla adapters for free initially. So they just couldn't keep up with demand. So they added their second supplier, and that's the one they showed us. But the Tesla durability tests, when you look at the requirements for NACS, they're pretty robust. I say the requirements for NACS. When you look at the requirements for NACS before they gave it over to the SAE, like if you looked at the old documents, they had some robust testing requirements. And they didn't just say drop it with a robot on the ground. They wanted it dropped like a human would drop it, like random. Tesla's Cortex supercomputer, that's the one on the NVIDIAs versus the Dojo on the Dojo chip, is currently at 50,000 GPUs and will soon be 100,000 GPUs, which will be a top 5 global training cluster. Meanwhile, this little guy in the corner here, Grok, is on already 100,000, right, Slimy? And it's on its way to 200,000 with their expansion. Let's take a look. He's on top. I was saying the Grok computer is already at 100,000 GPUs now, right? Working away to 200. Yeah, and then he said 50 for Cortex. And so what we're seeing here is the front of the Dojo rack, and then over there we're seeing the finished Dojo with its water cooling apparatus. Whereas what they showed us before was with the round die was the die. Then they did 660,000 drive units in Gigafactory Berlin, building Optimus. They did their 3 millionth car at Giga Shanghai. They're preparing for Cybercab production. They had their record battery pack production of 11,000 Powerwalls at Giga Nevada. They did 160,000 NACS adapters in Giga New York. They're accelerating their full self-driving supervised innovation with Cortex. This is Cortex right here. And then this was a guy just doing FSD in his Cybertruck. This could be a huge business. We haven't even factored in Dojo 2 on the way, 10 times better than Dojo 1, real shot of the breakthrough. All right, so if Dojo 1 is at 5% or 10%, and you do 10 times better, so then Dojo 2 should be able to equal Cortex as is with 50,000 GPUs. If you look at the high end, or be half of a Cortex at the low end, assuming the same number of deployments. Neato. My 3 biggest takeaways for anyone that knew most of this already: Dojo 1 active now, handling 5 to 10. Okay, he did say 5%. Handling 5 to 10% of the training load. Dojo 2 will be 10 times better than Dojo 1. Optimistic about Dojo. Have a real shot at the breakthrough. NVIDIA is the highest market cap. Cybercab production line looks like a high-speed consumer electronics line moving so fast that people can't get close to it. Cars coming off the line in 5 seconds. At that point, I imagine that since the regular cars are already driving themselves to the lot, that the Cybercab will do the same, especially since it doesn't have a steering wheel. Cybercab production line looks like a high-speed consumer electronics line. The unboxed manufacturing methodology. This guy's got like tweets, inside tweets. Unboxed manufacturing methodology thread. This will revolutionize auto manufacturing by assembling 3 large modules at the end of the assembly process. This has many advantages and will reduce the cost of transport in the near future. I can't read that. Can I zoom on this? I can visual search it, and I can open it in a new tab. Let's do that. Open it, image in a new tab. And then we'll share this tab instead. At least I can scroll on it. Can I zoom it yet? I can. Oh, okay. Click on it. Yes. How Tesla has changed the assembly lines. Doors and panels are added, a traditional body along with the structural assembly. Yep. Cars painted and doors are removed. Yep. Final assembly takes place. The number of people able to work on the car at any one time is restricted due to limited access. Unboxed gives you a rear section, front assembly, and a mid section with floor, batteries, and interior. This part they've already got on Cybertruck and Structural Pack Model Ys. On the rear and the front, they don't really have. So Model 3, they're doing theirs demo. Paint can be applied only where it is needed, as doors and side panels are separate sub-assemblies. You got the roof sub-assembly. Have more people working in parallel means workers' time is more efficiently used. Other than attaching the sensors to the windshield and the mirror mount and the wire trace for the Cybertruck and X, I don't see there's much to do there. Just get a robot to suction cup it to the car like they already do. All right, let's go back over here. Share this tab instead. Close this. Go back. I could have done it that way. I didn't realize. The process will initially be used for the code Redwood. Likely to be the second largest product behind Optimus, and could be 2 to 4 passengers, fully autonomous, with no steering wheel from day one. This was early last year, so before we saw Wheat Robot. Humanoid bot thread. We need even bigger casting machines, 50,000 tons. How big can casting machine be versus what the limits of physics? Let's find out. Magnesium thiaxo molding. Could Tesla make them single chassis design? That would be really cool if you just pour in some metal and out comes the whole frame of a car. A fourth interesting point was that Optimus will be sold to Tesla employees first. That could swallow up the first year's production. Employees won't have time, but their families will. Also suggests that Optimus will be in the house from the start rather than sold to companies as previously stated. Interesting. Tesla will not allow sales to employees to swallow up a year's production. Too much at stake. Why not? They got the money. Turo drivers will see fleets of robotaxis of 10 to 20 as many they can manage, probably. That was really cool. Every 5 seconds. All right, here's a milestone update. Degrees of freedom, 550,000 units up in 2026. Target 100,000 a year. Oh yeah, he said he's going to do legions of them. So like 10,000 units in 2025, and then sets of 10,000. Cybercab, 1 every 5 seconds. Lowest cost per kilowatt hour in the world for cyber cells. In-house cathode production has started. Anode production is under consideration. He did one of those calls. Hey, somebody do it, and they probably won't. Dojo 1 is 10%, up to 10%. Dojo 2 is coming. Vehicle production is on track for 10 million. We talked about that. Model Y, semi-factory is on track to finish this year with the future target of 1 million semis produced per year. That's good. Giga casting we talked about. NACS adapters we talked about. Battery production is a record high at Giga Nevada. And Cortex supercomputer, 50,000 GPUs in Ryzen. And that was the meeting. Saved you an hour. There were a couple questions like, how do you do it? And what do you recommend? And this and that. But those were the stuff relevant to what we talk about here. And our final story of the notebook. Z-Quip modular power lets job sites switch from diesel to EV on the same machine. Moog Construction Energy Skunkworks, Z-Quip made headlines last year by bringing the cordless power tool model to the industrial heavy equipment. Now they're making it even easier for job sites to make every kilowatt count by enabling them to switch from diesel to electric and back on the same machine. Battery swapping, the idea is simple enough. It's widespread adoption over the last 2 or 3 years. Construction sites, demolition crews, landscapers trust their cordless tools, and they're often worried about when the EV industry will catch up at the hardware space. First West. Yeah, Mercedes said that, and Bill Gates said that. Right? Yeah, build it, and they did. The first Western company to get on the ball, proof of concept model built on a Caterpillar Cat 308 8-ton excavator, excavator that took the conventional diesel machine and turned it into a quiet 140 kilowatt zero emissions excavator ready to work on urban projects with strict noise regulation challenges or on environmentally sensitive zero drip job sites. Each of its 140 kilowatt hour battery packs, energy modules can be removed and hot swapped with a freshly charged one without the need to get the machine back to a charging station or stop the work. But what if you need something different? What if you find yourself in a situation where continuous power is needed and access to grid power and gensets are both limited? For that, you may need a diesel. And Z-Equip's latest ZQ140 diesel-powered genset energy module works like an EREV. Okay, so you just replace one or both of the batteries with an engine, and now you've got a regular old, but still probably more performant diesel electric excavator, and so then you don't have to buy a whole separate piece of equipment for when you get to those remote job sites that you just can't get power to, and they don't have room for solar, et cetera, et cetera. This makes sense because you probably operate it as a battery almost all the time, and then you don't have to have a separate. You can just buy an engine or two for your fleet and not need to have a duplicate fleet for those weird sites. You don't have to turn down jobs. It makes sense. Or until the tanker runs out of diesel. Anyway, this solution eliminates the need for fleet managers or rental companies to carry two assets. Yep. And enables buyers to decarbonize where they can without wasting resources or duplicating machinery or duplicating battery capacity. Imagine a construction site with 6 Z-Equips. 2 need 800 kilowatt hours of battery capacity, while 4 require 400 kilowatt hours. The total energy for the day equals 3.2 megawatt hours. In contrast, today's all-electric vehicles might come equipped with 800 kilowatt hour batteries each on all the 6 machines mentioned above, assuming that they don't offer you a high and low trim, but they usually won't offer you modular. In this scenario, the fleet owner would effectively be paying for 50% more battery capacity than they need. That's not only capacity that would be unused, it could be better argued that the raw materials spent making those batteries could be put to better use elsewhere. And if fleet owners get the math wrong, that's fine too, because they can optimize each machine by installing the appropriate number of modules, and if necessary, swap them across any machine on the job site. Excuse me. In addition to optimizing the battery capacity and introducing greater energy flexibility, the job site operations equip modules could increase uptime by eliminating the need to rotate the machine out of operation for maintenance. Oh, on the diesel ones, yeah, because if you don't have to bring it in for an engine overhaul, you just bring in the generator and put in your spare. Okay. Assuming you're on a site that needs diesel in the first place. The diesel power modules have a 1.2 kilowatt, 1.2 by 0.8 meter footprint, so they fit in the battery casing. Excuse me, and stand 1.2 meters high, the same dimensions as their 140 kilowatt hour Z-Equip module, or ZQ140. The diesel module has a 25 kilowatt continuous power rating, while the 48 liter tank and IoT connected Z-Equip software, unlike traditional machines, reads the Z-Equip release. There you go. They'll have a presence in 2 activations in Balma. So, man, everything's happening in Balma. We were just talking about them the last 3 weeks now, about their construction. They had the job site power brick, and then they had some other people's equipment. It's like construction equipment. They have got some stuff going on in Balma. Look at that. Okay, so let's go ahead and end the screen share. You guys don't have anything in the spaces to share, do you? Let me take a quick look at Robert's messages on this other window. If I can click. Let me click. All right, so Robert sent us the gas cooker he was telling us about earlier. And oh, it won't let me go. Okay. And electric Mercedes. Yeah. No. That is weird. Is he asleep? Or a meeting? Yeah, I came back and my mentions were not mentions, but my notifications were just like slammed full of his stuff. Electric Mercedes GLC has an impressive charging power. That's coming from Robert here. This will be cool when it comes out. I can't wait to see more of it. And he showed us a picture of a Tesla taxi. Let's see if I can't copy the image link. Yes, I can. No, I can't. What if I make it bigger? Oh, yeah, they were doing that game thing. Yeah. And then, as long as he is asleep and resting, because, man, he has been strung out. Electric car chargers are deemed anti-disability, with millions left stranded by Labor's net zero plans, according to an article that Robert found. Ionity targets company car fleets as network doubles in size. That's smart for them. Top 10 electric cars for towing. Let's take a look at that, because you guys know me and towing. There's a lot more opportunities over there. But at the same time, the capacities for you guys towing is different. Let's see what they got. The Kia EV9, yep. BMW iX, okay. Model X, of course. Model Y, yeah, it does all right. EV9, yep. i4, okay. EQ. You know what you guys don't have? The Lucid Gravity. It outtows the Model X. The Audi E9, Audi Q8 e-tron. Also the Rivian R1S and R1T. Well, I guess we don't want to do R1T because these are all SUVs. So the R1S, the EQA, and the e-tron Q6. There you go. Renault creates a mini supercar with motors in its wheels. I think I saw Nikki do this in hers this morning, last night, whatever. There's only 1998 of these. Yep, she did. There's only 1998 of these being made, but they are freaking awesome. 1980, sorry, 1980. The 5E Turbo has top speeds of 167 miles per hour thanks to 540 horsepower motor in each of its rear wheels. It's got in-wheel motors. 0 to 100 kilometers in less than 3.5 seconds, so 0 to 62 in less than 3.5 seconds. This performance squeezed into a vehicle with the width of a sports car with a little more petite length of a hatchback, leading Renault to dub it the first world's electric mini supercar. Elite Motors C10 review, family SUV, big scores on big value. These are all from Robert here. BYD specs pickup location for driven electric SUV that transforms into a pickup. Sounds interesting. There's the Elite motor. And then Dan from What's Inside and Uncle Rich, they went to China to look at a bunch of cars. Drove an electric SUV that transformed into a pickup. It's fun. It's functional. It's the Taylo. Yes. The Taylo It's been kind of fun. Talos of EV was showing us their Talo. But no, this isn't the same one. It's a different one. Yeah, I should have known because the roof was curved. Who is this one? This one's the Deepal E07. It does the convertible EV SUV cab thing. That's cool. Fully covered space. It's got Sentry mode. They even called it Sentry mode. Mercedes-Benz MPV Masters winter testing in the Arctic Circle. Tech-heavy SUV coming to Europe. Major car maker partners with Swedish flat pack EV brand, and that's not IKEA. Got a little Sweden up in here. This one looked funny at the picture I saw of it. And flat pack is probably like we saw with the Tesla Model S in Europe for a while. It's just sides that got welded together and assembled versus put it in a box and do it yourself. Revolutionary chassis. Stellantis chooses to adopt it. I mean, that looks affordable. I mean, look at it. Unlike an IKEA chest of drawers, the Louvleo isn't designed to be delivered in a box to your front door. Instead, it's shipped to microfactories worldwide where they are pieced together before being sent to customers. So yeah, exactly like the old Model S in the Swindon, England plant. All right, there we go. So I will go ahead and we're going to sign off from the video chat, and then we will hang around for a bit on the audio chat, and then we'll sign out of that as well because Slimy's got another space to get to this afternoon. So with that, I want to first end screen share. I want to thank all of you guys for spending your time here with me today and your patience with the space. We had to restart it once, and we saved it once, so it would have been 3 times. And I want to thank everybody for their comments here on the side today that we've put on the screen. And I want to thank our channel members for your monetary contributions. I do appreciate it. And I've got a shelf sitting right here, right outside the door, waiting to come in here and get some of this stuff the kids shouldn't be touching off of my surfaces, so that maybe whenever this thing flashes again, you'll see a clean room behind me. Also, I'll be able to use my my green screen rather than just hoping that the camera can handle it. So with that, thank you again for your time. Hit that like button. Catch you again next week, and we'll see you on the Tesla Live show if you'd like. All right. Catch you on the flip side.